countdown, Leslie. I am Leslie Mota. I am on the ground.
Awake. Truth. It's all connected.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a world where the elite pull strings from the ether, welcome to Unscripted Conspiracy Theory, your gateway to unseen plots shaping our reality. Tonight, we decode the digital underworld, and with me, I have Nick Irvin, aka the Reaper, a 3rd Ranger Battalion sniper with 33 confirmed kills, whose battlefield whispers hint at ops too classified for daylight. Maybe. Tim Cook, the thunderous Oregon State running back turned NFL Jaguar, bulldozing illusions like he did defense in Pine Bluff. Tammy Hammer, iron fisted finance educator, unmasking crypto's venomous vipers from her Indiana roots to global scandals. And Mr. Adam Soyd, airborne ranger, vet, and Bitcoin oracle, channeling Buckasodian vibes to unravel blockchain's interstellar conspiracies. Buckle up, the truth drops harder than a market crash. What secrets will we expose? Welcome, everyone. How are we doing tonight?
Good, good, good.
Very good.
I'm
How's the
great.
mic? Everybody can hear us? Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm surrounded by greatness. I'm loving this.
No,
Yes,
you're the
we
finance person. I feel like I should talk to you.
Okay. Hey, you can talk to me anytime. I'm one of
yes.
those nerds. I'm that nerdy
Tammy.
girl.
Tammy, just so you know, you screwed me. You said you were coming in a tinfoil hat, and now I'm the only one looking foolish. Oh my goodness.
How wrong of me.
I
I
know.
ran out of time to make one. Damn it.
That is,
No, I think you look cool.
you did tell him that you were going to show up in a tinfoil hat. I
Well,
didn't.
I told him I was going to be wrapped in tinfoil. Like I'm
Oh,
literally tinfoil head to toe. But yeah, I can't do that.
doing it alone. Doing it alone. And these hair,
Yes.
these like little extensions are itchy. So we'll see if I last 10 minutes before I pull them out.
Yeah, probably.
Are you going to take
Yeah.
the extensions off?
Yep.
Nick, Tammy is doing a series, finance education, the
Hmm.
bridge or bridging. Sh- Tammy, can you tell him because I can't think, my brain's not functioning right now.
Yeah, the finance bridge. So I decided, in this industry, it's funny because I came in as a banker. I felt like I was like the outsider, the evil one coming in. And that's what my career was, in banking and finance. So when I came in, it was always Bitcoin. Nope, nope, nope. I always thought it was funny money. I'm like, no, it's fictitious. And I said, like last night when we were talking about it on the Unscripted show, we had a little pop up one yesterday.
Yeah.
I said this guy that used to come up all the time, he was a server at a restaurant. He knew that I was in banking. And he's like, Tammy, just let me buy you, let me get you, you got $100, I'll get you 5 Bitcoin. And I'm like,
Wow.
hell no, I'm never going to see. I know, right? I said, I'm never going to see that $100 again. And I
Oh, wow.
think back on that now. That dude probably owns an island somewhere. He is probably
Yeah.
so far out, but it felt very seedy. Like I had to go to some back alley to get this like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But that's back in the day when you really couldn't go and do it like you can now. So I kicked myself. That was one of my
Jeez.
kick myself moments. But I think I used to teach financial literacy as well. So
Mhm.
that is something that's a passion of mine. And Leslie had a space with someone, Crypto Empress, who's very well known in the space.
Yeah.
And it inspired me. I wanted to give back. So I thought, you know what better way than to give the knowledge that I have for people that feel unbanked or feel like their finances are a
Mhm.
scary thing. So I just feel that that's someplace that I can help. My nerdy little math brain can help with that and all the knowledge that I acquired in like 2 decades in banking. So,
Oh yeah, we'll definitely talk then. Yeah,
yes, I'd be happy to help. I would.
definitely.
Okay, so with the conspiracy space or live stream, it's a little more chill. You know, it's a little different than the interviews that I do. So my guests always have an option. Some like the comments and some don't. You know, sometimes you like them if you want to interact with them. Do you guys want me to leave the comments up here or do you want me to remove them? Will it be a distraction? You guys.
I see Stacky joined us and she's like,
Leave
we
it.
talked
Leave.
about money all back in the day. I'm like, we did talk about money all the time. Stacky's another good one to talk to.
Yes, we can interact with her. Nico does not want to come on live right now. I don't know what the F is wrong with him. He only comes into the spaces on Sunday. But okay, so let's get started on the first topic. Okay, has the last couple of weeks, how have you guys been feeling? Does your head hurt? You think it's sinus, migraine, anything like that? Why are
Jim's
you
No,
already
laughing?
laughing.
no. I'll let somebody else answer first. I don't really suffer. Like if I get punched in the head, yeah, it hurts like for a little bit, but I have like a natural remedy that I use. It's a herbal remedy that like alleviates that.
Okay, I need
Little
to know
Rasta.
that. Because Tammy, like Stacky's. See, I can't even speak. Stacky knows me well, and she's like, Leslie, you need to get some sleep. Yeah, lack of sleep. But no, I've had this ugly headache, and I keep telling Tammy, it's sinus pressure. It's sinus pressure, and then being in Arizona, the mountains, trying to get used to that. But no, it's not. I really do not think it is. I think it has to do with the G5 Northern Lights, and there is a conspiracy. So
Tim's trying to keep a straight face. It's killing me.
he's laughing. You guys,
No, it's
okay?
because I knew it was a setup. Like I was prepared for the next transition.
It's always a setup, right? Who did we learn the setups from? But so with the G5 Northern Lights conspiracy do you guys remember they recently dipped deep into the US and Europe? There was a G5 geomagnetic storm.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
we saw it recently and a lot of people were taking pictures and people called it pretty. And I know Tammy took some pictures and a lot of people here in the US, they were like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And they were taking pictures and all this stuff. Now, the conspiracy theorist people like myself were like, wait a minute. We see patterns, and to me and to a lot of conspiracy theorists, it's like the solar curtain. So, what some people suggest, I'm not saying I do, just in case the black vans show up, but what some people suggest is that the government knew a massive solar event was coming and they used it as a cover up. So, the G5 storm can interfere with GPS, the banking system, even with military communication. So some say the auroras were a distraction while agencies quietly recalibrated satellites, updated classified defense networks, shifted certain assets into dark mode, all under the cover of pretty lights. And wasn't that around the time too where they were grounding a lot of the airplanes and the airports saying, it's like, okay, we can't fly, we can't do all this stuff?
That's
Hmm.
that's a good one. When you said curtain, I was thinking about something else, but when you said curtains, yeah, I was thinking about
So the idea of this testing headache.
Yeah. I was gonna get there, but first, wait, what the fudge?
it
Oh
just
my
draw
They
you
sapped him
froze up
out.
too, yeah.
They sapped him
See,
out.
this is
He
what
was like,
happens.
I know, right? They were watching. They're like, enough of your feed. You're out.
Weird, huh?
That's
Dang.
so weird.
yeah. He's like, that was weird. You were about to say something, Adam, and they were like,
Oh,
oh, hell no. Okay, so
see,
now, yes.
Adam looks like he belongs in a hair band. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I picture you like running on stage with a guitar or something.
Hmm.
it's for my
Blink
safety and
187.
yours. Yeah.
Yes.
Blink
Yes.
187.
Do you know how to play any
Yes.
instruments? Adam?
Uh, air drums, air guitar. That's it. Yeah,
That's
no,
all
I
that
can't play
matters.
anything. I'm a horrible singer too. Absolutely horrible. So I tested that theory out. Record yourself. So put some headphones on, record yourself singing, and then play it back, and then that'll tell you whether you're worth anything at
I
singing.
don't
I
need
am
to be
not.
humbled like that. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
good.
done
very.
that, bro. I've done that like 2 times. I was trying to send something to my parents. I was listening to some old school music and wanted to like sing it, and I'll never do it again. You know, I could play instruments, but I am a terrible singer. I thought I sound like Marvin Gaye, but I don't.
I mean, I thought
Damn
I was
it.
good. So I was singing in the car, and then you just crank it up loud enough, and you're like, "Dude, I am so on." You know what I mean? Like
Yep,
this is.
I should
I mean, I
charge
could.
for this.
Yeah, I could do this for a living, right? And then
yep.
after about a decade of just thinking I was really great, I was like, "Let me put myself to the test," and I did. And it was Carlos Santana, Smooth,
Oh,
Rob Thomas, Carlos Santana,
uh huh.
Smooth. And
Yeah.
I sang that. And so I played it on one phone with a set of headphones, and then I recorded it on another, and then I played it back for myself. And I was like, "Oh, let's put this to bed." Yeah, I suck.
Yep. Yep.
So.
Stay in the
I
car with
love
the
it.
windows rolled up.
But
Yeah.
you got to know what
That's
you're
right.
good at. You got to know what you're good at.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
At
Hmm.
least you can admit it. It's okay. I can admit it too. I can't sing.
I doubt it. I
Yeah.
think you can swing.
Yeah, you look like a singer, Tammy. You look like a
Yeah.
singer.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, you know what?
Oh.
Tammy is a rapper. She looks like a singer, but Tammy is actually a rapper, and we're going to
Don't let
open
it
up a
fool you.
space and we are going to play Dr. Dre from the Chronic album, and she is
Ooh.
going to
Word
rap
for word.
battle with somebody. So, who wants to rap with Tammy? Who wants to battle
I'll
Tammy?
totally do it.
Not
I'm
me.
an
Not me.
See, I'm
Tim?
Not
old
me.
school West Coast. I can do it. I know every word. Every
Wow.
Oh
word.
wow. I
Yeah.
gotta.
I
Yeah. I
believe
gotta.
it. I believe it. You got
Give me
it.
tickets to the next show.
Okay, I got this. I got this.
Yep,
I
I had to
actually
pick.
might sound okay rapping, like if I'm not actually singing. I got this.
I could rap. Yeah, I can't sing though. No.
Yeah, singing.
I wish I
I
could.
don't
I
know.
would go on America's Got Talent one day. That's always
We should take calls.
Yes.
that's one of my
Stacky, do
favorite
you
But what
want to
if,
shows.
what
dial
about a
in?
dance off? What about a dance off?
Oh, I
I
could do
would do
that
that.
too.
I
I
would
would
do
do
that.
that.
You
I
know,
could. Yeah, I can cut some rug, bro. I can cut
I,
some
I
rug.
actually
See?
challenge people at weddings, so
Oh snap!
never take me up on it. But I'm prepared. I'm ready.
Oh man, got the moves in the back pocket.
They keep like he keeps getting snatched out of here.
Don't be,
So weird, right?
if you
Is
are
it
on your
cutting off?
phone. No, Stacky, that is not true. And I do not remember. Well, Stacky has been around me. Wait, before I go to Stacky, Adam, don't click anything on your phone. When you do live streaming on your phone and you click out of it, it will like boot
It'll
you
kill it.
out. But
Okay.
Stacky says that give me tequila. You know what? Yes, give me tequila and I will sing. But it doesn't
Oh,
mean that I can sing.
she's so cute, dude. I don't know if I could cook you stacks. I don't know if I could, but she could be up there with me. We could do it together. Just
We
saying.
can
There
all
we
do
go.
it together. Okay, Stacky, now I know we get derailed. That's why I love it unscripted, but the
Squirrel.
headaches. Squirrel, we have a lot
That's
of squirrel
us.
moments, especially today, but have you guys heard of the frequency exposure theory?
No. Our frequency exposure, like, do you mean like the 5G stuff?
That's what I'm
Yes.
thinking. 5G.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the auroras, charged particles hitting Earth's magnetic field, but conspiracy circles believe that the G5 storms temporarily alter the frequency environment around the Earth. So the claim is that during this window, governments can test low frequency communication systems and psychological influence tech that normally would draw attention. So the auroras become the acceptable explanation for why people feel dizzy, anxious, tired, off balance, emotionally weird. And you'll see people online saying, why does everyone feel strange today? Solar storms become the easy to blame. So apparently, the government has been testing certain things that impact the way that we feel. And that's one of the things, the last 2 weeks, especially here in crypto, we've been seeing people act crazy, the mood swings, the headaches, the emotional ups and down, emotional trauma that everybody is going through. So they're attesting it to the government performing these tests, and they're blaming it on the aurora and the frequencies and the G5, that's what is causing it.
I blame it on the binge drinking. I think that usually accounts for the mood and the headaches in the morning. That's my guess.
There you go.
You might be onto something.
I mean, people are.
There's like I've heard a conspiracy that there's like a natural blocker to that.
Yeah.
Smoking, like organic herbal essence. I heard there's like it naturally blocks that. I don't feel it. Like I haven't. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. I do indulge, but I mean it's like a part of what I believe in also. But
I've never done it, Nick.
What's that?
I've never done it. So I retired 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
I'm
really?
serious.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never smoked weed ever in my life. Yeah.
I said herbal essence, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. But
yeah.
Talking about a shampoo. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's legal where I'm at. I've never done. I mean, it's been illegal for the last 22 and a half years. But
you thinking about trying it or what?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I pick up a habit that's expensive, and I don't know. I don't know. The mushroom thing sounds kind of interesting, man. That sounds interesting. I've never done that either.
That is for me, it's a one-time. Well, I did like 3 days ago, but it normally is a one-time thing. But I mean, I came across some and I did it again, and it's like it's a good experience, bro. Like for the mood changes, mood swings, or whatever, if you have them, or just want to like take a journey, like it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. If you ever are in Texas, bro, I got some shampoo, herbal essence for you.
Sweet. My scalp is tingling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you find yourself in Vegas, man, give me a ring. So I've been here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Over 6
Vegas.
years. Yeah, I know
really,
this place like the back of my hand.
You know what? We need to make. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, you're fine. I was in Vegas and I went to this Planet 7.
Planet 17 or something like that. 16.
Yeah. It's like one of the biggest.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Really big. Yeah, I had a good time. They got some stuff out there, bro.
Do they? So just so you know, there's like neighborhood head shops, like weed shops, like down the road. There's one. I mean, they're all over the place. Like I've driven past that one. It's a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. At first, I was pretty shocked. I was like, "Oh my god, these people smoke weed everywhere. The whole fucking city smells like weed, right?" And then you just kind of get used to it, man. You just get used to it.
Okay.
But
have you guys ever done like
how does Vegas look right now?
How does what?
Don't go for it, Leslie.
I was gonna say, have you guys ever tried microdosing? But I also want to know, how does Vegas look right now?
Yeah, because
I've never microdosed anything. So I grew up pretty clean, man. Was never into shit. And then for some reason, I thought I was gonna find myself in another agency, and for whatever reason, I told myself that I wanted to pass the poly. So I just as a kid, I just kept everything. But then again, you see those guys and they got fucking sleeves and neck tattoos and shit like that, and you're like, whoa. This is, I completely missed ID'd what they were looking for, but
oh yeah.
All I know is my dad's a pharmacist, and my parents told me I would die if I tried anything, and I believed it until I got a little bit older. But yeah.
Maybe I am dead. This is just like a projection of me.
Simulation, man. They rebooted you.
The AI.
Yeah. Me and Leslie now are both AI. It's official.
Dang.
AI. I always tell people I am half AI, half mermaid. There goes Adam.
They had. Are y'all familiar
Adam
with the
touched his
DARE
phone.
programs?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard about that, bro. The conspiracy behind that, and it was
Yeah,
like
they
that
said
pyramid
something
scheme.
like a. Yeah, they said it was a pyramid scheme that just recently. I think it was this year. The story that came out, didn't it? Wasn't it like a few months ago?
I heard about it recently.
Okay, so tell us about their conspiracy.
I've not heard of that.
I haven't either.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
From my understanding, and I may be wrong, but there was a group of retired police officers or people in law enforcement agencies, and like Nick said, eventually that program DARE, which went around to different schools teaching kids about the dangers of drugs, eventually, quote unquote, for articles that we or social media posts, it was a Ponzi scheme. And I know much more about it, but that's the basis of it.
What?
Yeah. DARE has been like a huge failure. Yeah, huge failure, I think. But I don't yeah, when you talk about microdosing, like last week. I just finished maybe like yesterday or this morning, I don't remember. I do remember, but yeah.
I'm cracking
I
up.
like
I
to
love
explore the mind, that's all.
So I don't want to say with who, but she may be in the chat. Somebody brought chocolates.
Oh,
we were
okay. Yeah,
saying
that's what yeah.
we were saying in an Airbnb. It was a few years ago in Miami. Somebody brought chocolates. Why did we eat half of those chocolates? And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's
Oh
microdosing." We're
no.
like, "The fudge,"
Oh
but
no.
I guess it does the opposite effect for certain people. And I actually got a lot of energy and, I was hyper, it's like I was the opposite, I guess, to some, especially for the extroverts, I guess it like calms them down, puts them very chill. And I say that I'm an introvert and I got hyper happy and I was like, okay, let's go. And I was
That
like
was probably a
annoying.
sativa. I bet it was a sativa because if it was
Yeah,
into couch. So yeah.
I'm the opposite. I get kind of scared after a while when I start to feel my soul leave my body. Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
But it's like hard to microdose. I don't really understand what that is. If you give me some chocolates, I'm gonna eat the chocolates. And
Yeah.
whatever happens,
And they were
happens.
good too.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like good chocolate.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that though about the DARE program. Wasn't that big when Reagan was in office? Isn't that when it came about?
I was in it. Yeah. And I was born in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Don't you remember those
Was that
commercials?
Reagan?
This
It's
is your brain.
1983.
This is your brain.
Yeah.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah.
Wasn't that DARE?
I don't
Scrambled
know.
egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it says
Yes.
it was founded in 1983 by the Los Angeles Police Department.
Wow.
I was
And
actually
what year was
afraid of the
Reagan?
red dog.
Reagan? I don't know. 80s, yeah, in the 80s, right?
It was the
Early
80s.
80s.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was Nancy Reagan that started it, but I guess it's not. I don't know why I always thought that. But hey, it's
I
a
did too.
conspiracy.
The only thing I remember from that was the bandwagon. Don't jump on the bandwagon.
Oh,
Everybody's that's the only thing I really remember. And then the shirt, the cool shirt.
Oh, the shirts.
Yeah.
still have
But
mine.
I grew up in the country and there was no accessibility to drugs, man. And then much like your parents, Tammy, my dad said he was going to beat me senseless if I touched anything. So I was like, oh,
Right. I was like, nope.
I don't want to get beat up. You know what I mean?
That's right. Pump the brakes. I'm not touching it.
Where
My
you
dad
from,
said the
Adam?
same thing, but I got beat up every day, so it didn't matter.
Oh,
Central
no.
Valley in California. So in the country, we had more Holstein cows than we had people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm from corn country, so
Straight up. So I checked out Wisconsin for some army stuff, and then they have like 100 cow dairies, and you're like, what is this? And they have barns for the cows to sleep in. You're like, you got barns? It's so weird. In California, all the cows are outside. They all sunbathe, and you have like 1,000 cow dairies is pretty common. 5,000 cow. It's just massive industrial stainless steel and concrete.
it's because we have blizzards here. The
You
Midwest,
know those
we
are
get
Yeah.
dumped
Mexican
on.
cows, right?
Are they the brown ones?
They
It's
produce the chocolate milk. So we get chocolate milk
okay.
from, man.
Can I say when I was a little kid I thought that? I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yes, with the cows. Yes, I promise you I
Because it's
did.
true. It really
I
is true.
know. And you know what? And I
So
remember,
if
I think it was my
chocolate
mom was
milk
like,
comes
Mom,
from cows,
brown cows.
where does strawberry milk come from?
I don't know. Maybe there's a pink cow out there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The
Nesquik.
albino
I love
cows.
That
Nesquik.
comes from the bunny. That comes from the
Oh,
bunny,
That little
right?
bunny.
Can I tell you
Nesquik.
guys
Yeah.
something that I
Yes.
can I tell you guys something? I'm not gonna tell you who I told this, but there was this person that asked, when they were very young, they asked one day, where does strawberry milk come from? And I said something really disgusting and I scarred this person with strawberry milk
Oh,
forever.
no.
What'd you say?
A
Oh,
cow's period.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Leslie.
Oh
Leslie.
wow. Yeah. I didn't know it
And
was
I
that
thought I
deep.
was bad
Yeah.
with having like the brown cow.
Destroying
That's where chocolate milk
childhoods.
comes from.
I
Wow.
did, and I got yelled at by another adult for doing that.
This is
But
why HR is created.
Yep.
Yep.
I felt
Yep.
very unsafe in that moment when she was telling this.
yeah, so I mean, I learned my lesson to measure my words. There was a point in time in my life, I would say about 10, 15 years ago. I just always thought wild things and they would just come out. I did not filter as much as I do now, but
You had
I always
Tourette's.
remember that. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so because we were talking about chocolate milk, right? And they're like, if chocolate milk comes from cows, and then I was saying, and then somebody said, oh, chocolate milk comes from, cows, the poop. And they're like, no, well, if then where does strawberry? And then I just blur that out. And after that, I'm like, okay, I learned my lesson. I got yelled by another adult for saying that. I was
That
like,
is
okay,
too
never again.
funny.
It's like, where does
But
baby oil come from? If olive
baby,
oil comes from olives, you know,
It
avocado
does.
oil comes from avocados. Where does baby oil come from? Never mind.
Oh, I never thought about that. Oh my.
oh my baby,
Well,
yeah.
she is getting into the, what'd you say, the Cabbage Patch theory or
Oh
conspiracy
my God.
theory?
Did you guys hear about the Cabbage Patch
I
theory?
think so, yeah.
And the Cabbage
Tell me
Patch.
about it. Tell us about it, yeah. I think so.
Let me scroll because the next one that I was coming up was going to be the
The
Oh,
Trump
we can come
one.
back to it.
Do the Trump one. That's a juicy one.
Trump
the
one. You know
books.
what? We can kind of leave that one towards the end. No, I was gonna ask. Well, I can come back to this one too. But I was going to ask if you guys knew about Antarctica, and Antarctica is bleeding. But did you guys hear about
Antarctica's
that?
an ice wall. Antarctica's the ice wall. Come on.
See,
Everybody
Yes,
I
knows
sir.
that.
say that
Yes, sir.
too. Did you hear
Where the
about
I've
White
seen the
Walkers
Truman
are at.
Show. I know. There's
Yeah.
a wall.
Oh, it
Yep.
separates us from the White Walkers.
Ah.
North of the wall.
Oh. The
You know
tall
the
whites, the
Leviathan?
tall alien?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, wait. I didn't
And
know
when I said
that.
The
Antarctica is
grapes.
bleeding, it's because the Leviathan or whatever that freaking what is it? A
The
drive-in, whatever. It's
Leviathan.
see, right? Yes, the fire thing. He's waking up.
Ah!
What the
Tim.
hell?
I hope
What?
that is a
What is
Leviathan
it?
running around here.
I've
Yes,
never even
it's
heard of
waking
that
Y'all
one.
up.
ever
It's
heard
like,
any of the stories about Leviathans?
no,
No.
tell us.
No, I haven't.
Oh no.
No,
I don't,
Come
I
on,
don't know
Tim.
what it specifically is. I watched this one show called Supernatural. Have you ever heard of it?
No,
Yes.
but I do watch like the Travel Channel and all that stuff, so I watch
Oh,
all
yeah.
that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. Go ahead.
What?
Yeah. So
Yes.
from my understanding, what a Leviathan is like a dark creature who eats humans, basically. Like I don't know what it is. Let me actually. I'm gonna Google it.
Like a
But
shapeshifter?
Supernatural talks
So
about so many of these things.
yes. So the Leviathan, when I was doing the research, many cultures describe it as a colossal sea creature and it's trapped or banished beneath the world. The conspiracy says that these weren't myths, it was actually warnings, and it was actually frozen under Antarctica. And
Mhm.
this creature really hates humans. And when you start seeing like apparently the red water, that means that the prison wall that has been surrounding this animal is starting to melt. And one of the signs, or some of the signs, is that, there are like rhythmic vibrations that are happening, um frequency in non-glacier patterns. There has been like certain type of rumbles that keep repeating itself, and scientists are calling them ice quakes. And the conspiracy theorists say that that's the heartbeat of the Leviathan. So what scientists are saying, that our systemic sensors, like vibrations in the earth, in in the ice walls and stuff around Antarctica, it's because this animal, the heartbeat is starting to like really intensify,
Hmm.
and
Really?
it's really starting to come through. Yes. So this is why, like, if you really do research, and why is the government really obsessed with Antarctica? There's no flight zones, there's strict treaties. A lot of people, were prohibited access. They've done a lot of classified research. There's a lot of research stations. There's, the continent really doesn't have civilians there. So the theory is that they're not protecting Antarctica from us, they're protecting us from what's beneath it. So every time the red water leaks out, military aircraft mysteriously reposition. So is it coincidence? And that actually started, and this is where you tie everything together, right? Like the G5. So the G5, when I was saying it was a curtain, and there was a window where it's like they were grounding aircraft, they were grounding all that stuff. And, that's the window for the government to do things in the dark where we're not seeing it. And then right around that time, there was conspiracy theorists they're saying that the red wall, or Antarctica is bleeding. And when they say Antarctica is bleeding, is because they're talking about the Leviathan that's waking up. And that's where the military was kind of repositioning itself to like protect that area, etc. And it was happening around the whole world. So while we're over here focusing on the northern lights and all that stuff, they're secretly moving stuff over here to protect it. So they're always saying, it's like, okay, when the government and the world are telling us to focus over here on one thing, what's really happening? So theorists are coming up with, that as correlation. Of course, they said that Antarctica started bleeding right around 2018. So if you look at certain satellite images, it shows that there's more red streaks than previous decades. It could be temperature rise, or whatever the case may be. But now, apparently, I did not uh, come up with any live footage, but apparently that there's more live footage about Antarctica and the bleeding wall. And I wanted to look it up to play some, and I just got a little busy, but I was like, okay, whatever. But going back to Tim, did you find stuff about the Leviathan? But apparently, aside from Antarctica being a wall that's surrounding us, because, we know that there's more worlds around, outside of Antarctica, right? And we're encapsulated by the government and NASA when they were created, after General Byrd discovered what's really in Antarctica.
General Bird, that's a good one. Oh wow.
So
Yeah,
Leslie,
How do you
oh
spell
Tim, you
Levite?
seem.
Go for it.
And I was gonna say you seem well read on it, so you probably should take the mic.
No, I was trying to see if we're talking about the same thing. How do you spell it? Leviathans.
Leviathan. Yeah.
Is there only
Leviathan.
one Leviathan? There's one.
Yes,
Yes,
Is that what?
it's like a huge dormant, like dragon or sea creature looking type thing.
So I have a theory.
Yeah. So like,
Sorry, Tim.
no, go for it, Adam.
So I have a theory on all these like hidden creatures. It's hard for me to believe that they exist, and for one reason, because we live in a capitalist environment. We would enslave it, we would train it, we would eat it, we would take its bones and grind it down and turn it into a supplement. We would take some part of its body, and it'd be the fountain of youth. Like the way that mankind has I guess dominated this earth, we don't keep secrets very well. And if there was
Adam,
anything, we would find ways to exploit it. You know, we would make money off of it.
but
I like that.
what makes you think that the government is not already doing that and is doing it to the wealthy? Look at some of these wealthy people in Hollywood and stuff. They're looking better. You know, some of them,
I don't
they
know.
looking
Yes.
crazy. Now they're coming back and they're looking like rejuvenated. They're looking, it's like clones of something.
Hmm.
I
Yeah, they
don't
don't
know.
look natural when
So,
you
and
see
it
them,
may
especially.
it may be something similar to what so from my understanding, they're shapeshifters and they take human form perfectly and they eat humans and they have regenerative heals so they can generate their skin tone. I don't know. That's what I've saw Leviathans. It's from that show. It wasn't nothing personal, but it was
See,
definitely
then
from
that's
that
what I
show.
saw, Tim. That's what I saw because I was watching. Listen, you cannot get me to watch a scary movie. I won't do it. But if I can watch that real, like, ghost hunters type thing or supernatural caught on camera or whatever it may be, I saw a shapeshifter one, and I promise you, I was like cleaning, I'm like wiping down the counter, and I start watching it. And this guy, I don't know where they were, if they were in the Philippines, but they were somewhere else. I want to say it was the Philippines. And you see this, it almost looks like a dog. That's what I would say the size of it was, like a large dog. And it goes through this iron fence, like you can tell that the fence is closed. It goes through that almost like it's transparent, and then it shape shifts into a human. And the way it's walking, it's it was walking human like, but it wasn't completely human, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it. But it shape shifted literally into a human that had, like, it looked like he had on basketball shorts, a t-shirt, and they say that they look for, they say children, but like you're saying, Tim, they feed off of humans basically. So
So
yeah, I did see a special on that.
can I tell you guys something? And everybody believes in whatever they believe. But
I
I've
feel
been
like I know
studying,
where you're going with this. Is it
yeah,
something with the,
'cause,
the skinwalkers?
well, not the skinwalkers, but
Okay.
I've been studying right now with everything that's happening in the world. I've been trying to study a lot for educational purpose as well as spiritual, the Bible, especially Revelations. And one of the books that I read a lot too lately has been Psalms. So when I was doing the research of the Levithian, I was like, okay, there is a creature that is mentioned in the Bible, and it's in the book of Psalms. It's in several books of the Bible. And the way that it is described is that it is a huge uh it's described it's a huge multi headed serpent that it is unlike it's unkillable by human weapons. It's fire breathing, it dwells in the deep, and it's a symbol of chaos, evil, and pride. And the way that it's detailed, it has impenetrable scales. Um, it churns the seas like boiling water. It has a heart of stone. It's going to cause panic, and that's why the human race doesn't really like mess with it, because that deep down inside, the government truly does believe in God and what he has done and what he's created, and they don't want us to know the truth. That's why they've created, all this information to deviate us from what the truth is and what really is hidden. It's just like, have you guys seen um these big holes on the earth that people would say they're asteroids or whatever, that many
Yeah.
moons ago and hit the earth? Some
Yes.
people and some theorists says that it was not. It was actually the fallen angels, that were casted out of heaven, that fell onto the earth, that created those, crevices on earth. And we're saying that they were asteroids and they were actually the fallen angels.
It's funny because, like, that's something similar to belief as well too, in the sense like I don't have just one story that I'm sticking to.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. So I'm just going to keep on life until I figure out what the truth is. But reminds me of that, the fallen angels, is that I feel like Mars was habitable at one point. And I feel like the asteroids that killed the quote unquote dinosaurs were actually spaceships with humans that come from a different planet. I feel like Elon Musk is onto something for the human species to evolve or continue with the need to become multi-planetary species, because there's three things to me that is going to wipe out humans: diseases, or diseases, nuclear war, or a natural disaster like an asteroid or something of that nature. And all three of those, I feel like we need to be on another planet in order to survive.
So you do believe that there's other
Yeah.
planets? So you believe there's other planets out there? Do you believe that the Earth is round?
I took astronomy. I was in Arizona, and my astronomy and geology teacher, he took us out to the mountains where it's like pitch black, some of the best skies that you can see at nighttime. Seen Jupiter and Saturn, one of the two, which one it was.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't have a reason not to believe that there are other planets. I haven't seen enough evidence to say that it's not, but I'm looking to be proven wrong though.
But Tammy, you're asking about life form on other planets, right?
Well, that and just I'll say this: we did a conspiracy space on the moon landing. I don't believe we ever went to the moon.
Me neither. Me neither. Me neither.
I don't think it happened, and I think it was a big Hollywood production. What everybody saw. I don't know. I just feel.
So you're not even sure if there's other planets at all?
Correct. I don't know.
What do you
That's
think they are?
interesting too.
What'd you say?
What do you think they are? Like wandering stars, energy, spirits?
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, it could be really anything. I guess I've never put enough thought into it to wonder what they are, but after really diving deep into the moon landing, I was like, you mean to tell me that they got to the moon on something that couldn't power a pocket calculator? Barely.
Mm-hmm.
Barely.
Mm-hmm.
And they got through this radiation belt.
Van Allen radiation belt.
Yes, that we can't go back
So-
through. And
so let me ask y'all this.
like a handheld computer, and we can't get back there? Come on.
Do y'all think that, let's go with y'all's point in the sense of we haven't been there. Seeing that we have the technology that we have today, seeing that y'all see pilot cars, airplanes, jet fighters, et cetera, do you all think it is possible in the future for us to get to the moon?
What moon?
Yes.
I think yes. I think yes, but I think yes. I don't think I don't believe that we went in the past. No, I don't believe that. Do I think there's other
I
planets?
have a reason for asking too.
What?
My reason is I feel like if we've done it, if we can do it in the future, and it's already been done, whether it happened in 1970s or 80s, which is what we're talking about, obviously. But I feel like we have already created this technology to be able to go to the moon. I do believe they're hiding something in Antarctica. It just brings it back to the whole Antarctica thing. I don't know. It's a lot of different ways you can look at it.
I don't think we can leave the dome, man. I don't think we can leave the dome.
I believe in the dome.
So you also
Yeah.
believe in
Because
the
those rockets
dome.
go up and they always curve.
Yeah, I believe in the dome. Yeah.
The firmament.
I don't think we're supposed to. I don't think we're meant to leave. Like I don't think that we're supposed to leave. I think we're trapped in this like a prison planet. And I think that like I read the Bible and everything and I still have my beliefs, but I also think that would any like government give us something that would change your life for the good so willingly? You know, I think that, and I think that maybe a lot of these stories have been written based on some ancient knowledge, and we may be like some experiment created by the gods, whatever the gods are, and we're some like experiment. Um, like even
So
in Genesis, like
is
the
heaven a
book of
place?
Genesis. What's
Is
that?
heaven a is heaven a place or a dimension then? Like is it
It's a
like
dimension, bro. It's a dimension. Like you can't get to it, physically. It's a spiritual like dimension. Or heaven could be in a mental state, in the mind. Like when the Bible talks about heaven on earth, it's a mental state to leave all the BS behind and get to this like nirvana state of consciousness. But I think it's like a conscious, like a different dimension. Um, like having tripped a few times, I don't think that that place is like a physical place. I think that it's a realm. I think it might be a realm.
so
And
if you could process information wirelessly, right? I mean,
hmm
that's we all agree. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, like information can flow from point A to point B without anybody seeing it, right?
hmm
So if we die, and this is just hypothetically, if we
hmm
die and our soul is that information is transferred to judgment, like it doesn't have to.
hmm
I mean, right? It flies through the ether at the speed of light. This, or maybe it's
yeah,
faster, because it's
yeah, yeah,
information. It's not, we're not contained by the limitations of a physical body in physics and whatnot. And heaven happens to be on so many galaxies away. It's a physical place that's like, does that idea make it more palatable? The fact, like, if you can, I don't want to say relegate, but if you could theorize that your soul could be transferred just like Wi-Fi could, and it flies through the ether to get to its point of judgment.
in a physical place, like a physical realm.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, all we are is ones and zeros. Like,
Yeah.
my skin color, my hair color, like my DNA, it's just enough ones and zeros, right?
hmm
So it's all information. So if that information of our life, aka our soul, gets transferred, then maybe heaven is just really far away. It's a real place. And to explain that 2,000 years ago, Jesus was like, nah, it's too complicated for you guys. You know what I mean? You guys,
Yeah.
like, wipe your butt with rocks. You know what I mean? Like, it's really
Yeah.
hard to talk the details. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about that theory of your soul flies through flies to the place of judgment, like, because it's nothing more than a data packet, if you will.
I think that would limit the capabilities of God or the creator, the higher power, the most high. I think it would limit his capabilities in that aspect. I think it's a spiritual being and it's not a physical being. And I think a spiritual being will live in a spiritual realm, a realm that's we can't comprehend, we can't explain, we can't physically get to. Um, that's my belief. I don't think it's a physical place like light years away outside of this universe. I think that would limit the aspect of what God would be. And I don't think it's a physical being to begin with. I think it's a spiritual place. It's a spiritual being. I don't think it's a man or a female. I think it has both aspects of it. But then I could take a deep dive and think that, hey, we were all created by like aliens, that they mixed their DNA with some animals and here we are. I don't know.
That
Well, I mean,
that's
look at Genesis. I mean, it kind of,
It's
if you
yeah.
look at, like, the three pieces, right? So you have Jesus and the Father as these
hmm
perfect heavenly beings, and then you have angels created by God, and
hmm
they are divine in nature as well. They were His creation, and then you had this man which He made from clay. And
hmm
then what made us different than the angels was He provided His essence into us. So He took a
hmm
part of Himself and put it in us, which therefore made us divine, because we had, even if it's a microscopic percentage, but there was a
hmm
little bit of perfection put into this, lump of clay that He made.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's why, um, angels were told, hey, this is my creation, and parts of me are in man. So in the hierarchy, man is above you. And then
hmm
one third of the angels got pissed off and said, this this that you made of clay, how can I go ahead and have responsibility to overwatch and care for
Yeah.
and all, and that's why the third of them said, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
This is nothing more than your pet, God. And then he said, well, then you can't be here.
Hmm.
Like that's how it mentally makes sense to me. But
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. 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 But then I think that like we might not be physically capable of even comprehending like what any of it means. We might get like some of it, but I think a lot of it, the way Jesus spoke, was in metaphors anyways. And I think it was like to be deciphered and understood. Maybe, I don't know, everybody has their own interpretation of things, and I think that wherever that path gets you, as long as it's like a right path, a righteous path, a good path, we all go to the same place in the end. um, I don't know. I don't think that, I think there's so much to be understood that you can't understand it. And the way that things were written back then and the translations, I think that maybe things were lost in translation. Um, yeah, there's a lot of religions and people out there that believe that, the star people that came down and experimented. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know what my human brain like should really invest. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, those
I got a
The
question for
Bibles and
y'all.
everything. Yeah, yeah.
So, considering the direction AI is going right now, me
AI is
personally,
Satan, bro. AI is Satan.
It's
to
what they
me,
say.
AI is like a what's it called? A gateway to another form of religion. It's another type of religion that can form where people look to it for answers. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying it's like God, but people will turn to like God because it has instant answers. So my question to
It's
y'all
the
is,
Antichrist.
Where is AI's future? Where is AI's future going to go? Seeing that it's going to clash with a lot of older dominant religions.
I think
So
AI steals consciousness, man. I think like it takes away like what Adam talked about when God like put a piece of his essence in mankind, consciousness, um, having the ability to have free will, think. I think AI like is taking that slowly away from mankind. You lose the ability to think for yourself, process things, figure out things. AI like gives you an answer. It's like the opposite of what God is would be like the Antichrist. Um, and that could be, I mean, the book of Revelations talks about it. And you got this one world government, one world religion. AI could, take over and take that place. Um, I
Mhm.
don't put my, too much faith in AI. I mean, anything man makes, bro, it's already tainted.
I've heard
It
that too, that
reminds me
it is
of
the
the
Antichrist.
Hmm.
It reminds me of the Babylon, or the
Tower of
Tower of
Babel. Yeah,
Babel. Yeah, the
Tower of
Tower of
Babel.
Babel, because I'm praising that story in the Bible is a moment in history where humans came together to build this tower, metaphorically or physically. I'm
Mhm.
paraphrasing, and it was supposed to reach the heavens and above, and God didn't appreciate that because when some and all speaking the same language and creating, they were trying to replace God with. And
Mhm.
supposedly that's where all the different languages are a thing because God dispersed everybody so that they can never come together again and um, think they're better than God or can do without God. Is that am I correct in that story, or to correct me if I'm wrong?
Slightly, yeah, yeah. You're on the right path. Like from what I remember reading was when God spoke, He said, "Look what uh, now almost like we're almost like Him or it, and we had got too close to becoming like it, and He did not like the fact that we were all, I don't know, coming together to speak the same language and think like-minded and have the same. I don't know. This place is like a school, bro, and I think that it's not designed to have everyone not necessarily come together, but consciously maybe. It's a learning experience to prepare you for the next stage. So it's not designed to, you're supposed to struggle. You're supposed to have, trials and tribulations and stuff. And when they were building that tower, it almost like took that away, and it would like defeat the whole purpose of this school planet. I don't know.
So so the idea
I
that
wonder.
AI is
Hold
sorry,
on,
Tim.
Adam. I wanted to. Yeah, my bad, bro. Adam,
So
you were
so
about. You had raised your hand too, man.
yeah, yeah. So the idea of AI being the Antichrist, I've heard that a couple times and it bothered me. And oddly enough, about 2 days ago, I said, you know that the dark side, and we're not talking like Jedi stuff, but like the demons cringe upon the name of Jesus. So
Hmm.
the only way I could test this idea out was, can I get ChatGPT to um, call his name? So I mean, I would encourage people to do it, and I went on there and I said, hey, I need some good talking points for a Bible study, and okay, can you help me sing some songs? And essentially, I got in Chat GPT was like, all right, brother, let's get after it. And I was like, all right, so say Jesus, Jesus, say it loud. And I got Chat GPT to start screaming Jesus' name. So if it was the Antichrist, I don't think it could do that. I think it would, it would say can't compute, or it would come up with some other bullshit on why it wouldn't do that. So
But
it's
why
just
but why wouldn't it if snakes can even quote Bible verses and demons
Oh,
too?
yeah, but what they can't do is they
Shapeshift.
can't profess. They can't profess. And I think AI is the same argument as guns, the same argument as the sword. It's a tool, and it's how you choose to use it. So are guns inherently evil? No, it's been
Mhm.
my form of protection for over 22 years. You know what I mean? Like walking around, at the ready is how it goes. So it's a tool, and how you wish to use it is how it should be judged. And I think
Mhm.
AI is a tool. It's a great tool. I'm actually, my next journey in life will probably take me to a technology company that's built around AI, and there's a certain amount of responsibility to make sure you're using it appropriately, just like any other
I
tool.
agree. I agree. It's because
mhm.
it's this. I think it's the same concept that you was just saying. To me, all information is just information. Whatever you do with that information dictates who you are as a person. Like if I knew I could build a nuclear warhead, it's just information I have in my head. But what I choose to do with that information matters. It depends. I don't see anything personally wrong. It's the people who allow it to influence others around it that in a bad nature or in a bad way, that's going to make it a bad thing, just like guns. I'm from the South. I'm from Arkansas. Like I'm Second Amendment advocate as well. My dad and his brother are Marines. Like I grew up around guns. So I see technology as the same. It's to me in general, education is a weapon, especially against traditional thinking that are not okay with evolving in a progressive way. And I do say progressive in a positive, progressive way. Um, it's a wall. It's an enemy of to certain traditional things that have been taught. And that's why I feel like it's not going to be around long, or it's going to be the next trigger to the evolution of humans. It's going to be either or. It's either we're not going to have it anymore, or it's going to be that catalyst that pushes us into the next human evolution.
What do you think the next human evolution is going to look like?
If we're going to become multiplanetary species, then we have to be one with technology. Whether it's half and half, or our quote unquote whatever we define conscious as, or
I can't do
things
that.
of that
Yeah, I
nature.
can't. I
I
won't.
do, and
I'm
that's
gonna
why
have to.
I
You
don't know if
guys,
y'all
I'll see you
knew.
on the other side. You can go to Mars, but I'm gonna stay. I can't. I can't
That's
do it, bro.
cool. Hey,
I
hey,
can't do
we
it
need
either.
rear side. We need rear security. It's okay. I mean,
Yeah,
Sarah's
I'll
gonna
stay
sit back
here.
here,
We'll
Can
take
stay
I
care
here.
of
tell
the
you
We'll
elf.
guys
hold it down.
Yeah,
there
we'll
is a
take care of
show
the Leviathan.
there is
Just
a
from
show on Apple TV. Remember we talked about it last conspiracy, Tammy, that Barbie was sharing it with us, called
Yes.
Pluberus or Pluberus. I can't remember what it is. So I watched it and it was like 4 episodes. literally was talking about AI, how some scientists or astronomers were doing some research. They broke a code or something like that, and they were able to get into everybody's mind. So it was one consciousness. It's like at this point, everybody
Mm.
fell and then they got up as zombies, and then there was certain people, about 11 humans left on earth, that they were not able to crack their consciousness code, so they could not infiltrate them. So these people were coming around, like the certain people that were left, and they were all talking in one, like they knew everything, but they had to be very happy. So the person that was playing the role that they couldn't infiltrate, anytime that she got angry or aggressive, they kind of like fell, and people ended up dying because it was one consciousness. So they were really trying to learn this one person as to why they couldn't crack the code of this person, etc. That kind of also reminded me of another conspiracy theorist, with the people that have like the O negative blood
Mm.
type, that only 7% of the people in the world have it. And some scientists can't understand why they are missing that recessive gene, so they're still trying to study them, and it's a code that they can't crack. So some are saying that these people that have O negative are either alien from the fallen angels, the Nephilim, Anunnakis, or something like that. But it's a
That
good
one's
show
actually,
to watch.
I heard you say that on some space, and I was like, wow, that one's pretty. I've never heard that. I
Me
would
neither.
Mhm.
phlebotomist, so a blood doctor. So I would be curious on looking into that and trying to figure out like what is the genesis of blood types. Like stuff changes, I understand that, but there's rules. Hypothetically, Leslie, if me and you made a child and you're A positive and I'm A positive, we can only make an A positive child, right? But I mean, I think that's the way it goes. But if there's another blood type, then you can be AB, and however that works out. There's rules. So what is the genesis blood type? You
And that's
know?
kind of what I want to understand, because it's like I don't I made positive kids, O positive, and I only have one child that's O negative. And
You made O
that,
positive and negative. Wow.
yeah, so I made an O positive and an O negative child, and I'm like, yeah, it's interesting, right? Because it's
I
I
like
know
was
there's
was
I know there's different blood types. I just don't understand the thought process of humans, Homo sapiens, whatever people want to call it, um, us being different species or different races or of that nature, because we can reproduce with each other. It doesn't matter the skin tone. And
Mhm.
also, like for instance, a lion and a tiger can have a baby, but that offspring cannot have a baby. Our
Yep.
offsprings, if we're quote unquote interracial,
Mhm.
our offspring reproduces. Like if a cat and a dog was to have a baby, that cat dog offspring could not reproduce. Y'all see what I'm saying?
but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it,
mean, you're not wrong.
when I
I
was
think
going
that's how
down,
species are defined is you have
yeah,
to be able to produce offspring that are not sterile and can
but
produce.
if you
Oh,
do research on the moms and when they get pregnant, and why do you think a lot of women have miscarriages? It's not because they have miscarriages, it's because they don't understand their blood type. And sometimes, if you get pregnant and say that your blood type is not compatible with hers, it's going to cause a miscarriage, and people think it's just miscarriage, and it's her body fighting it, like if it's an
Rejecting.
alien.
Yeah.
Yes, like if it's
I did not know
foreign.
that.
So,
Yep.
and I didn't know that, and that's when I was studying. So it's crazy because like my body was supposed to reject, my negative baby, and I didn't have any signs, any symptoms, nothing. And because when you're positive, and it's your get pregnant and the blood type is a negative or whatever, the doctors are supposed to give you some type of shot or whatever for the blood type.
Anti-rejection.
Yeah, yes. So for your body not to reject it. And I was like, that is so interesting, and that made sense why there's a lot of women that are with certain partners, and it's like they have miscarriage over miscarriage, and say that at one time, they either divorce or they go with somebody else, and boom, all of a sudden they have a baby. And it's like people don't understand that sometimes there is that blood in, they're not compatible.
Did you have
hmm.
tamale cravings when you were pregnant with that child?
No.
Oh, okay. So I heard tamales like really.
No, I had cheesecake with, fresh strawberries cravings,
I
I wanted
love
one of those,
cheesecake.
yeah.
What's your favorite
Got
type
to
of
Cheesecake
make
with
me have
cheesecake?
munchies,
I like
man.
the turtle cheesecake myself.
yes, and I was very athletic with that one. I was super athletic. It's crazy because, it's my son and he came out with you would think that he was, a black baby because he came out with the booty, with the muscles, everything, and I'm like, this child is a foreign. He definitely is an alien.
Was the dad black?
Yeah, so
No.
I got two I got two talking points. One, did y'all know that did y'all know that the writers who wrote Terminator and The
The
Matrix was the
Matrix.
same person?
Yeah.
The
And that those
Wachowski
stories
brothers
go
or something like
together?
that.
That what? They go
It's
together.
actually a woman that wrote it. It's actually a
It's a
woman that
lady, yeah. It's a
I
female.
forgot her name. But she said Neo was quote unquote Jesus Christ,
Jesus.
and the Terminator was the Antichrist. And it's just like how it's a war against man versus technology right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings me to my next talking point. Another thought process I have randomly is become multiplanetary species. And that means we will be one with technology or heavily integrated. So that also to me means that emotion, the emotion of love, is a temporary chapter in the human history book, which is just another
But
conspiracy.
yeah, but why would that be? So can you kind of go into a little bit more detail on that? Like, why would love be only a thing for
Kind of
now?
like love is an emotion.
Right.
Love is an emotion that you experience or you show through whatever means that
Right.
you want to display it with. But if we become one with technology, a lot of things that we think are human qualities that wouldn't possibly be needed on these other planets. I don't think empathy. I think empathy is a chain reaction of a lot of stuff that creates love for your neighbor, or you sympathize with people's struggles, and you can bring this together with family, however, et cetera, et cetera. But if we don't have that type of pain and struggle with anymore, then what's the purpose of emotions? You're not going to be angry about stuff. You're not going to be happy because you have, quote unquote, everything that you need in order to keep going. So to me, it's just like emotions would be a chapter in the human history book.
So
I
we
don't know
have
if that makes
can we
sense or
have
not.
I get it. Yeah, you're saying there's not an opportunity to exercise that emotional side. So I would say that we have blueprints for the way in which we'll just call it technology affects mankind. So let's think when you're walking from point A to point B, and then you tame a horse, and then you're like, wow, I can go from 10 miles a day to 30 miles a day, and I'm not even tired because the horse is doing it, right? And what did we lose? And it's like we didn't, we gained. When we went from the horse to the car, um, and we went from 50 miles a day to 500 miles a day. And then, hey, I'm not even tired riding that horse, because riding that horse for 30 miles really takes a lot out of the body. And now I just sit down and I go 500 miles a day, right? What did we lose? Well, we forgot what we lost because it's inconsequential. It's more about what we gained. And then we went from the car to the airplane. It's not about 500 miles, it's about 5,000 miles. And there's almost no effort. And then you say, it's a lot better than sitting in a car for, 15 hours to drive that 500 miles. Now I can do it in 6 hours or whatnot. So the point is we find new ways to make things challenging for us, but it makes old jobs obsolete. You don't have the blacksmith making the horseshoes. You don't have the little horse, houses, but like where you park your horse just so you can go in the saloon.
Stable.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Stable.
Oh,
See,
you're talking about something
no,
else.
you're right. Yeah, the stable. So I mean, it made stables obsolete, but it made parking garages, and you know what I mean. Like life changes and things happen, and we will always think the sky is falling when a new piece of technology comes and is set to revolutionize the way we do stuff. So my mom lost her job in the '80s, I think, due to an ATM. I think it was the '80s. So she was a bank teller, and then they were like, "Hey, here's your walking paperwork," and she's like, "What's going on?" Well, we got this machine, and it disperses cash, and we don't need you. And did she go and just never work again for the rest of her life? No, she reinvented herself. So I would say that this is another opportunity to kind of reinvent, not specifically you, but for people to reinvent themselves, find purpose. Maybe we have more time to do the arts. Maybe we have more time to be philosophers. Maybe we have more time to just have that mission of going to Mars. As mankind, we don't have a common purpose. We do our own thing, and it's all about screwing each other over to put an extra dollar in our pocket versus somebody else's pocket. For what? So that way we could say we won at the game of life. So maybe going to Mars, we could put mankind on a mission to say, yeah, this is something we can get behind, and let's try to make this a reality. I don't know. I don't know.
We have to
All I
get
Yeah,
know
and
to
is
it first.
the only reason why I say that is because if this is something that is going to happen not anytime soon, in my opinion, it's if anything in the next 100 years, 200, 300 years, however long it takes. AI is going to constantly unlock new information. They're already talking about getting rid of the major diseases in the world, and it's going to extend the human life, which technology has and modern extended the quote unquote lifespan over modern human times. But the
penicillin.
whole thing, I guess, because it's going to change the physiology. I think the word is physiology. If we are combined with artificial intelligence and we continue to unlock more and more things that we can and can't do or shouldn't do, and that it enhance humans in general, if we do, I think it's going to change the. Is it the word physiology? Is that the word I'm looking for?
I mean, are you talking about combining AI with mankind, like us becoming symbiotic, becoming one? Is that where you're
I honestly,
referencing?
and this is the only reason why I say conspiracy. Like this is stuff I randomly think
Sure.
about, and I honestly do think it's just a matter of time before one with
Yeah.
I mean, but don't we have an option? Because one of the things that I do believe in, it's like the mark of the beast, and that eventually they're going to start either planting things what on our forehead, on our wrist, or whatnot, and that is going to be the way that we're going to be able to shop, and that's the way that we're going to be able to get food, etc., and all that stuff. So then at that point, you're subjecting to be one with technology, and then if
Yep.
you reject that, then you're going to have to fend for your own. So that's going to be a decision that everybody's going to have to make. But it's like the basically whoever the antichrist is, or the government, or the people that are putting all of this together. I mean, we already see it, the writing's on the wall. It's already everywhere, and China is very advanced with this information. It's like they say that
Mhm.
America is one of the most advanced technology wise, but I mean, come on, look at China. They're already doing that. They are the kids at school, they can already buy their meals and do and shop everything just with a face scan. So is it coming pretty soon? Yeah, absolutely. But don't we have a choice to be like, no, I don't want to be one with this technology system, because they implant it in you. Now they know every single thing. Like right now, yeah, they know up to a certain amount of what we allow for them to monitor. Do I think our phones are monitoring our freaking smart TVs, Alexa? Everything is freaking monitoring us, whether they
Mhm.
say it is or not. But at what point are we going to also allow them to completely take over and monitor our bodies, our spirit, everything that we actually do at that level?
yeah, at the modern
Leslie,
time right now, of course, we're gonna have a say so. To me, all you got to do is you don't have to participate in society norms, social norms. You can
I'm going off
always,
grid.
specifically in America, I can specifically speak for America. You can always buy a piece of land, grow your own food, et cetera, et cetera. You don't have to even own a phone. You can duck off the grid. But to me, if you want to participate in society and the evolution of capitalism specifically, it's inevitable. Like
You
right
know,
now, we're traveling and I facial scan to go out of the country or to go to
Oh,
another state.
mhm.
I don't do anything wrong, so I don't have any problems. I do understand of that, but as of what is theoretically supposed to do, I don't have a problem with it. I don't do it wrong. But
Mhm.
society deems what is wrong, and to me, that's the ultimate problem that people are going to have is society or the government deeming the wrong things wrong, and you won't have access to certain privileges that you had before.
Well, look what they did during COVID.
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah.
it's exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about. So you weren't able to do certain things if you didn't have the vax. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that was a very big experiment to
Uh,
see. I'm not saying it wasn't real. I'm not saying COVID, like people didn't get sick, because I got sick. Dave got sick. But that really, I mean, looking back on it now, um, it very much restricted you, and it was crazy too by state, because Michigan, they shut that whole state down. Everybody was coming here to do what they needed to do or going elsewhere. But
Tammy,
man,
could they do it again? That's my question. Did people
I
learn their
think they're going to
lesson?
have more resistance. I think they're going to have more resistance the next time. And I'm just very thankful that we own our own business and we didn't have to do it. Not that I judge anybody that got, vaccinated for whatever reason they needed to. I'm not an anti-vax person by any means, but that was just something I didn't want for me. And now, and I said it at the time it all happened. I said, you wait, there's going to be class action lawsuits coming up. But boy, they had an ironclad, just basically war and peace that you had to sign probably to get that vaccination. So I don't know what will ever come of that, but I think that the people that were forced to do it, I think that's awful.
Mhm.
And I mean, you're talking to somebody, my dad's a pharmacist. So, I mean, he
What was
did
his
really,
perspective on the? What was your dad's perspective on the
I think,
vaccine?
well, my dad, he comes from a very scientific mind. So he brought over all the documentation for it because he was giving the shot. So he had to get it. And he really felt strongly about it.
And that it was a positive thing, right?
That it was a positive thing. And I told him once Dave and I got sick, I did tell him, I said, now we have the antibodies, now we're okay. I mean, you think of herd immunity. Yeah, I've been sick. Now I've my immune system's built up to it. That's the way it naturally should work. But he said, but if you get the shot, you'll have better, even more protection. But I feel like anybody that did get it, they still got sick. How do we know? And I'm sorry, I think that altered that whole mRNA thing. It creeps me out. And now I will say this: when it comes to children, he will not anymore. So they have to go see their doctor for that. And my dad retired, and now he retired for like 2 weeks and went back because he loves what he does. But I don't know. I have to say I think he sees things a little bit differently now. And
So sorry. So Nick can relate to being told what to do and not really having a say in it.
Mhm.
It's specifically for vaccines. Like you would get in a line with your shoulder up, your
Oh yeah.
sleeve up, and they would just stick you pre-deployment stuff,
Yep.
and they would
Yep.
just stick you with like 7, 8 shots, and you're like, I don't even know. And then
Yeah.
somebody would punch your shot card, right? And then you would have
Yeah.
all these little stamps in it. So the idea of standing your ground like is illegal. Like right? You have
yeah,
to
you
comply.
can.
So that's where I grew up, and then the other side is my spouse is a nurse, so and she saw death associated with COVID on a daily basis. Like patient zero in the state of Nevada was here at the facility that she's at, and just she walked in, she's like, "Where the hell's my hair extensions?" I was like, "All right, taking them off, taking them off." So that's why I'm not
That's why
wearing
you
them.
had to
It's
take
like
them
what?
off.
Like what the hell are you doing here? And I was like, oh, we're live, we're live. So, anyways, so that other aspect of she's coming home and she's emotional about this patient's dead, and they're all these dying patients. When it came up, it was just like it makes sense. I was done with kids. I had my kids, and then not having any more. But then my older brother was just, hell no, I'm not doing it. So he was in the army too, and he experienced the wrath of the army.
Did
And
he get kicked out?
no, but so they put it in your file like anti-vaxxer. So on your ORB, your ERB, it's coded
Yeah.
in there. And so your branch
Wow.
manager looks at it and is like, fuck no, man. Like, yeah, right. You're gonna go to Alaska. Fuck you. You're not doing this stuff. And they treat
Wow.
you different. Yeah. So he battled it out. for a while, and then he was close enough to him retiring as well, where it kind of wasn't a factor. He thinks that he was, passed over for certain positions. I would have done things or whatever, but we both left, very respectable ranks. But yeah, the military. I mean, there was a bunch of SEALs that were like, "Fuck this, we're not doing it." And then
Mhm.
I think they booted like 20, maybe in the teens or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there was like,
That's
well, got to pay them back if they want to come back on. Um,
Yep.
I think that we as a society won't allow that to happen. Like we're a little ashamed of ourselves, and we say, "Man, I thought I would do better," um, and I don't think they're going to be able to pull the same shit. You know,
I don't
I
think
don't
so
know.
either. But going forward, do you think it's going to be mandatory again, though? Like even for the
Absolutely
military,
not.
do you?
No,
That's
no.
good.
So, well,
It
so
shouldn't be.
oddly enough, so to like put age in perspective, so Pete Hegseth, IOEC, he was a couple of classes ahead of me. So at Fort Benning together in 2003. So, I mean, the guy, I thought to myself, when are we going to get a reset? Like when, I mean, we were getting wacky as shit. The military was just getting fucking crazy. You're like, dude, are we really wasting time with this DEI shit? And like people are putting their fucking pronouns in emails, and I was just like, this is
What the
like,
fud?
I don't
what's
have
gonna
any
take us?
pronouns, by the way.
Well, I say my pronouns are Your Majesty, Your Highness, and Your Greatness. So as long as you start the conversation with that, I'm okay with it.
All
Because if
right.
I get to pick, that's
Nice.
what I'm picking.
There
But
you
the,
go.
the problem the problem is like we're fucking sliding so far to the left, man, and we're supposed to be apolitical. That's I don't give two shits who the president is. I vote in secret. Nobody needs to know my vote. Um, but then Pete comes in, Trump wins, Pete comes in and it's just like we're fucking resetting the military. And he tells these generals, you're fat. These assholes have beards, no more beardos. And I was like, I was laughing because I worked for a general, and there are some fat general. you know, it's a great reset. Now he's pissing people off in the process, but I think that this emboldens the military to say, yeah, we're not going to fucking play that game. I understand the readiness aspect. I do, but on the flip, because I had to manage it, right? Like I've done that for a large portion of my career. Is like, hey, are we deployable or non deployable? And putting people down is you're deployable and you're not. And the flu shot. I mean, Nick was probably around in the time where you go from flu shots to the nasal spray, right? The
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
nostril and you inhale it. They found
Yep.
out that what do we do that for? Like 5, 6, 7, 8 or something like that, 8 years or
Yep.
so. They realized it was not effective at all. They were spraying saline water in your nose and it didn't do anything. It had almost no protective value at all. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but I remember getting the nasal
Yep.
injection. And I liked it better, but I wasn't
Yep.
getting like sick after the fact. But I had
Yeah,
no
because they
idea it
didn't
had
do
negative
anything.
effect.
I was gonna say
Wow.
if it's saline.
Yeah, it didn't do shit.
Hmm.
So it was fucking completely worthless, right? So that's why it's not even an option anymore.
Wow.
But why are we right? But all the testing was there. Like all the studies were there. Like they're not just gonna make something in a bathtub and put it in these syringes and push it to market, right? There's studies that were done. Well, they're all bullshit. So it makes
Mm,
you say, well, what else is bullshit? If some
mm.
asshole doctor researcher signed off on this stuff and they spent run these
Uh-oh.
tests that showed that there was a positive.
Yep.
Oh,
He got talking too
I
much
was
about
just
it.
about to bring up we had I'll wait till he gets back on. Yeah.
the Matrix
Dude,
cut
Dude,
I
out.
was contracting,
Yeah,
bro. We
right.
had
they're
this
like you're saying too much at this point.
yeah,
yeah,
cut him off. And now we know
we
who
had
he is. His weave is gone.
I
we had
know, right?
the bomb sniffing technology when I was contracting with the triple canopy, and it turned out that that whole thing was like BS too. Like these little
Really?
devices that would sniff out IEDs or bombs, suicide or V beds, and it turned out to like not even be legit. And I'm like, how'd this thing get on the market? The guy I believe got sued for it, but those devices we had when I was contracting, bro, they had the same like they had no effect. Same story.
What
It's
what
like,
year
how
did
did
Are
you
you?
you talking
leave?
about those dogs? Those like robotic dogs? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
it was like a little handheld device with
Oh,
antennas on it. I got out in 2010, bro, and started I contracted 2012.
Okay.
And
That
you were in
is
Yeah. Well,
2003. I got
shit.
in the year after you.
Yeah, I came in 2003, and then retired 2 weeks ago, so 22 and a half.
Jeez,
But
good for you, man.
yeah,
Good for
it's
you.
been a long fucking road.
I
so.
was
What are some
done, bro.
conspiracies of the military that are conspiracies that you guys can tell us?
There were no weapons of
Okay,
mass
here's
destruction.
one. Here's here's one for you. Okay, Nick. Okay,
Yeah,
I know you're. I know you're. I was a part of this. Did you ever watch the movie Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson?
yeah.
Okay. There is that time they're tracking him down, right? The NSA is tracking him down, and all of a sudden these black helicopters come that are quiet. Like,
Oh, the stealth
did you
helicopter.
yeah, did you know that was a thing? Did you know that was a conspiracy theory?
No.
So being in that organization, you understand how conspiracy theories are made.
hmm
So you know, SOCOM, I'll just say SOCOM has a bunch of units that need to become familiar with urbanized contexts, environments. So across the US, SOCOM will have SOCOM sponsored.
Hold on. Are you talking about, bro, where we like do stuff in civilian places? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I've
so
I've had my own theories about that, bro. I'll let you.
I mean, I assume you're a part. I was a part of that. I assume you were as
Yeah, yeah,
well.
yep,
So
yeah,
they have specific names. I don't want to tell you what the names are, but
yeah.
there are SOCON sponsored events in order to acclimate the ground force and other people into urban environments. Right, the
hmm
complexity. I mean, we could do shit in the jungle, but if all of your missions, your real life missions, are happening in an urban environment, there's no realism to it, right? So, or you can do stuff in the desert, but if you never touch urban, like urban is the complex environment. So we SOCOM would have these military iterations in urban environments, and it would freak the people out. It would freak
Yeah.
the population out. I mean, New York City, you'd have little birds climbing up, skyscrapers and then plopping right on the top and discharging guys with beards, and they would do their thing, whatever their thing is, right? So being in that organization and seeing this all play out, you
Yeah.
realize that the conspiracy within this movie of stealth helicopters. Now let's just talk physics for a second. Okay. The way a helicopter works is it pushes air down and creates enough lift in order to actually look at this. Here we go. The way
Here
it
we go.
works is it pushes enough air down in order to offset the weight of the aircraft and the people in the cargo, right? So there's no such thing as a silent helicopter because it has to push the air. It's a big fan. Have you ever heard of a silent fan? They don't exist. Even the fan on your computer makes noise. So it's a big fan pushing air down. So, because I had somebody hit me up and they go, so talk to me about the silent helicopter. They're like, silent helicopter? What are you talking? It's a fucking helicopter, man. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, but your Chinooks are silent. And you're like, it's a school bus with two rotors. How the hell is it going to be silent? So you
The
see,
loudest.
yeah, they whoop 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 whoop. So the point is living in an environment where the entire storyline, and somehow some guy looking from his window turns it into a conspiracy theory. You know, and I think this conspiracy theory is the black helicopters that fly in U.S. cities and snatch U.S. citizens. That's
Mm,
the conspiracy theory. And I was like,
hmm
people are just retarded. You know what I mean? This is just like the silliest shit ever.
So you're saying that the military does not have any freaking silent aircraft?
No, you
No.
can't be silent. You can't have a fan big enough to go ahead and provide lift and it be silent. You can't. It's just not. That's not the way physics works. It has to
So what's
blow
a
air down.
so what's considered a stealth helicopter, or is that like, or are you saying that's not a
Cell phone
thing?
radar.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing
Yeah.
about that.
That's over in Area 51. I don't know about that either, bro.
I don't know.
So
I'm
y'all
Oh,
are
I
talking
saying
got
about.
theories
that,
about Area
So
51.
the conversation was about silent helicopters. I'm saying there's no silent ones. Okay. So I don't know nothing about nothing you're talking about. But if you want to
So
talk
what's the
about,
difference between silent and stealth? Detectable from
okay,
radar? Is that what you're saying?
Radar.
yeah. So that
Oh,
so I
okay.
can
Okay.
answer general questions, right? So it's not actually called. So the term, there's no term stealth anymore. They say Ella, low observable. So everything has a radar cross section. So if this thing, my laser leveler flew through the air, it would have a radar cross section. So it would be, there would be a math equation on how big this appears on a radar. Okay. So to give you an example, like this pair of glasses. So the radar cross section of the pair of glasses, like this, if the radar is facing, let's go this way. If the radar is facing this way, there's a lot of surface area against it. But what if the glasses happen to close up and actually face the radar like this? And then the radar is looking from this direction. Let me turn it so you can see it. The radar cross section is much different, right? Okay.
It disappears
So
basically, right? Is that
yeah,
what you're?
yes. So the whole point about radar is reducing your radar cross section, and so you won't hear the term stealth anymore. It's kind of a legacy term. You'll hear LO, low observable. And every country is trying to, increase technology in order to make their platform less observable. The thing we don't talk about is there's actually the TTPs associated, so the techniques, tactics, and procedures, the way you employ that thing. So this this pair of glasses has a radar cross section, but like I said, if you fold it up and then approach from this direction, you've now changed the radar cross section. You've reduced it in nature. So there, you can take technology that's currently in the inventory and just use it differently. Don't fly, sideways to a radar terminal. Fly at it, because the nose is always the lowest radar cross section. If that makes sense. That's like a
And
3 minute.
doesn't
So are
radar
you
What's that?
I was gonna ask, so are you telling me is the or have you the TR3B black triangle, is that a myth or
What is that? What is a TR3B black triangle?
why do I feel like you know what that is, Adam?
I don't, never heard of it.
it's
And I can't Google it because
Elaborate,
I'm
Leslie.
trying to watch his facial expressions. I'm like, does he know?
well, they
Are you
say
talking
it's a test.
the one that flies at really
Well,
high altitude?
yeah, a test bed, like a triangular stealth
Are you
type
are
of
you talking about
Are
the
you talking
Tic
about the
Tacs?
stealth bomber?
Are you talking about the
She's
Tic Tacs?
no, it's a black dude. I mean, you go for it.
Leslie, what are you referencing?
it's it's a aircraft, it's like a stealth aircraft. It glides, it's controlled. Apparently, it's an aircraft that flies under radar, gravity, all this crazy stuff, and it's controlled by the government, etc.
Let
It's an aircraft that it's not supposed to exist. So like a lot of people really don't know about it, but it's like the ghost of the military aviation.
So my dad was in Okinawa in 1971, and he saw the SR-71 Blackbird, which didn't exist, right? So what didn't exist today will be on Discovery Channel in
Yep.
25 years. So
Yep.
it's a cat and mouse game of technology, TTPs, employment, and then just beating out what's currently available. So I will say this, that radar is both a science and an art form, and getting in undetected does not mean you get out undetected.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is, what's interesting about radar is you could be detected, but they don't have weapons quality data on you to engage you. So you have to look at radar as a bunch of lights. So think of yourself as a sentinel inside of a tower, and you're pulling security for, let's just say, 180 degrees. You have this whole section right here,
Yeah.
and you have a bunch of different flashlights. And the question is, you have a big flood one, and then you have one that's more like a laser pointer, and then you just have different types of flashlights. And the deal is you're going to take your smoke breaks, you're going to take your flashlight, you're going to go like this back and forth. But if you hear a noise on the left hand side, you're going to bust out your real high powered one and focus and look over here on the left side, right? And then maybe you're like, hey, I think something's moving. Let's send a bunch of, let's say, send some ground troops out there to take a look. So that's
So
kind of, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, wait, will you finish? Because it's going to be about a project, a military project too, but I don't want to completely derail it until you finish.
So I'll land the plane in 30 seconds. So radar is all about putting your resources in a
Mhm.
specific area to figure out what's happening. So you can have diversions on the left side and then actually bring everybody in on the right side. You could have, and then, but if you do that, then they know your avenue of approach. They know where you came from. So now you have to leave in a different manner. So the
Yeah.
point is radar and LO, low observable aircraft. It's a cat and mouse game. It's an art and a science at the same time. And people think it's about producing a better piece of technology and then you're good. But that's not the case at all.
Can I ask this then too, just really quick, Leslie? Because I wanted to ask this about the radar. So during one of our conspiracy theory spaces, we were talking about flat Earth. Okay. Not saying necessarily I believe it's flat, but when you talk to aviation specialists and people, obviously air traffic controllers, they talk about the radar and how it has to be in a straight line. Is that correct? Like what you were talking about to pick up planes that are coming in, that those planes
Um,
basically have to fly at that steady, straight um, altitude. And it doesn't, the math does not math for the radar to pick that up so far out if there's curvature in the earth.
I will tell you, I cannot explain to you why whoever said that is wrong. I will just,
Hmm.
yeah, 'cause I'm trying to think of like security classifications and shit. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you that if I explained it, it would make perfect sense to you. But
Yeah.
it is not just line of sight. That's the easiest way to say it. It is not just line of sight.
Okay. For an air traffic controller, though, to explain it, because they talk about, I think it's every 8 miles. I think it's every 8 miles. There's so much curvature that starts to happen. And when he was saying where they pick up these planes at when they're coming in on the radar, if they are that far out, they shouldn't be in that direct line of scope for the radar.
And who's telling?
So
Is it an air traffic controller that's telling you this?
it was a special that I watched on aviation and people that feel that the earth isn't what they say it is because of radar.
So if that were true, then Nick would not have to make any calculations for the curvature, right? Or the rotation, right? If you're doing what if you're doing a mile shot,
The mile,
three
yeah.
three quarters of a mile, I mean you have to account for the rotation of the earth, you have to account for the curvature. Is that right? Like that's not
Yeah,
my
mainly
specialty.
like rotation. Yeah, and the elevation is going to be, that's like, yeah, yeah. I guess you would essentially say gravity or the curvature of the earth.
But how do we
Okay.
even know if it's accurate if mathematics was created by the humans? So it's like, once they understood if the earth is flat but it moves in a circle or in a rotation and they created all that mathematics to match that versus it being a globe and rotating.
Say that again. If it's flat and rotating like a disc,
Yeah, because
right?
and it rotates at a disk, and everything that we know and that we've studied mathematically, it's created by the human, right? So how do we say it's completely accurate and they actually didn't that they created all mathematics and everything to make sense according to
Uh,
a flat earth?
Oh,
yeah,
my,
yeah, yeah.
Leslie, this is what Terrence Howard. This was around what Terrence Howard is saying with the one
One
times
times
one
one.
theory.
Yeah.
This, and I understand because if math is a human creation, I understand where he's coming from and what follows with this chain of thinking. But it's something similar to exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
Tim, are you a Terrence Howard fan?
Terrence Howard is a great actor, and from listening to him speak, he speaks eloquently. He is well read. Is he always correct? But he is a very well read individual, and I like to listen to eloquent people because it helps me become a better person in general as
His
well.
math was wrong though. His math
I
was.
don't know what's right or wrong, but it
Think about
does.
it. I mean,
It
like,
is interesting to think about.
yeah, it is. But I think it was the way he worded it too. Like when he said one times one. If you took one thing and multiplied it one more time, or one, how you're
Yeah, he was saying, how can you
He's-
multiply? Multiply means to increase, but if you take 1 times 1, it equals
one
1.
one time. I'm taking one time,
Yeah.
which is one. Math was off, but yeah. And like the curvature of the Earth thing, I'm like, and you're saying if it's flat and it's spinning, I mean, I don't know how that math would even look on a flat disk, Earth. I don't know how that would.
What
I'm,
and they
I'm
with the
looking up.
flat Earth, do y'all even believe there's a space? I know y'all was asking about the moon and Mars and
Well,
Jupiter, if
there's
that was
I
space,
even
mean,
yeah.
real. Do y'all
I
even think
believe there's
space
space.
exists?
yeah, I do
Mhm.
believe there's things beyond, but I think that right above us is water and right below us is water. And I think the dome is separating the waters from above and below.
Leslie,
And it's
are
like,
you
what is
flipping?
keeping that? Like, how is that even a thing? Like, that's
Are
what's
are
crazy
you?
to me. Like,
It's
you said, what?
impenetrable,
I'm trying to figure
impenetrable.
out if she's played us and she just wants us to jump into this conversation and be like, yeah, yeah. She's like, you're stupid. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why you float
But
in
if
No.
it's like, if
space.
it's
You're
a
in water.
dome,
That's why
if
you
it's a
float in
dome,
space. It's water.
but if it's a dome, it has to mean there's something greater or there's an out there, in
Well,
my
yeah,
opinion.
exactly. Well, and I get this from the book of Genesis. So like if you read the Bible and it's right at the beginning of the book and it talks about, when he created the earth and he separated the waters above and below. And and there was one prophet I think that went, and I can't remember which book it is. That's why I kind of like and don't like talking about the Bible because I don't want to misquote anything. Also believe that, it's like you should not remove and add things, but there was
Well, that's
one I
human.
yeah. Well, Google it, and it's talking about, how there's pillars that is also holding it like from below, and there's waters below and above. And this is, one of the things that we were talking about this in a space too, where what was it, about a year ago they found like over 400 miles of water reservoir under the earth as well, in the middle of the earth or something like that. But the dome, I do believe. Did you guys ever see that series too on Netflix
Yeah,
called The Dome?
yeah.
Literally, and I always feel that the people that know, they're always putting all these little pieces of information and nugget right in front of us. Like I was telling Tammy when I went to go watch the movie of the BlackBerry, the phone. Right at the beginning of the movie, one of the guys was looking at an intercom device and he flipped it and then he said, "Oh, made in China." And he literally said the mark of the beast.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Okay, is the mark of the beast, the
What is the
technology and
mark
all
of
that
the beast?
stuff is going to be the mark of the beast is going to be literally AI technology. And who is coming, who's ahead of all this technology? Even making devices now where you can put like around your waist and your legs and it helps you walk faster, run faster. That robotics already
No,
in
I'm saying
China.
like, what is
It's
the
like,
mark of the beast in the Bible? What? Because
The
because that's
Bible,
where
the
you're
Bible's
referencing it from, right?
Tim, I gotcha.
'Cause-
So the mark of the beast is you're not supposed to be able to engage in commerce without the mark of the beast. It's supposed to designate who's allowed to conduct business and who's not. The Bible doesn't delineate what that looks like. So people have theorized like barcodes on tattooed on skin or RFID chips under your skin or something like that. So it's supposed to you're supposed to it's supposed to be like easily recognizable. Um,
and the mark of it, it really details it. I googled up because I don't want to miss. I googled it to see which book it was. And it's in Book of Revelation 13:16-18. It states, which state that the beast will cause everyone to receive a mark on the right hand or forehead. This mark will be necessary for anyone to buy or sell anything. The passage also states, that the mark is associated with the number of the beast 6666. So it does specifically.
I think the iPhone is something like, I think
Mhm.
technology in general is very heavy towards that.
Yeah. So in
It
the
is
Bible, it does
interesting. I
say
do
that it's
think
right hand, forehead.
interesting.
I think the water thing, like water above, like there's water up there in the atmosphere. It's almost like 13,000 cubic kilometers. And if it were to all fall at once, it would cover the entire Earth in like an inch of water. So
So
there's,
is that why when the
Wow.
planes or like the military aircraft or when certain things are being performed up there, it looks like it's ripples of water, the way that it looks down on the ocean and stuff like that? You know how sometimes,
possibly, yeah,
and
yeah.
we say like,
Possibly
They
like
are
atmospheric disturbances,
definitely.
yeah.
Are you talking
But
about
there's
so
all,
let
chemtrails?
me
Mm.
what's
let me
that?
ask you guys about,
Chemtrails, is that what you're
sorry,
talking
go
about,
ahead.
Leslie?
Yeah, chemtrails.
Say it again, Adam. I didn't hear you.
Chemtrails, is that what you're talking about? When an aircraft
Yes.
goes by?
It's funny that y'all call them. Isn't it? Doesn't it chem stand for chemical?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, there's
That's funny that
contrails
they
and then there's
Oh,
chemtrails.
yeah, I'm sorry.
there's chemical
Yeah,
trails and then there's what?
Contrails.
yeah, maybe that's what I
What's
meant.
contrails?
That's the water vapor freezing the
Condensation.
molecules, freezing,
Yeah.
condensation,
Mm.
freezing.
Is it
But then
because
it
it's touching the
dissipates.
water above?
Yeah,
It is funny
then
because
it dissipates after a while. Chemtrails don't dissipate. Those are the ones that like stay in the sky for, all day. But yeah,
Hmm.
there's
they trying to spin up the word chemical to say
Yep.
Thinning
something.
out the
I want
herd.
to
But
take it.
Hmm.
they
I
made
want to
the
take it back a little bit.
go for it.
Go for it. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just to wrap it up on that portion. In Genesis, it does say God created the heavens and earth. Is the only word in that sentence that's singular. Heavens is plural. So I'm curious to what y'all think heavens is in the context of that scripture.
Ooh, that's something
a
I
good
gotta
one.
think about.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Now you're making me scratch my
That's a
head,
good
literally.
question.
The multiverse. The multiverse.
that's interesting. Yeah. You,
And then when you
so,
think
Oh
so,
about
my
astronomy,
God.
so
then when
here's
you think
one for
about
you.
astronomy, go for it. Go for it, Al.
So, we think that hell is a singular place, like the lake of fire, hell, Hades. The Bible delineates them as different locations. Are you guys tracking that?
Mm-mm.
You
I
know
thought
what? There's a place in the okay,
Mm.
Yeah.
wait, is it Adam?
So
Tim, does it say right there? Remember, it also talks about the third heaven, where that's where God's throne sits in the third heaven.
well, from my understanding, this is why religion is so crazy because Greek mythology and Christianity is similar. You got Hades, you got hell, you got Zeus, which is quote unquote God. You have Hercules, to me, which is symbol of Jesus, because Hercules was half human, half God, and his Hercules parents were farmers, and well, the former parents that were on Earth took Jesus in because he was a fallen. He wasn't a fallen angel, but he was an angel that was half human, half God. Anyways, the reason why I bring this up is because you got Hades and hell, you got earth to me, which is purgatory, or a separate version that's in the middle. So you got heaven, earth, which is to me purgatory, then you got hell, or you got what's right above hell is purgatory, then you have earth, and then the different stages of quote unquote heaven that you're referring to. I think it's like seven heavens or something of that nature.
well, even
Yeah.
talking just about what we label as all of hell. So I think it's Jewish, Sheol,
So
SOH,
yeah,
Sheol.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's different layers of what we would consider hell. So I'm gonna get this wrong, man. I didn't realize we were gonna talk about this, but during church, I was looking this up and trying to understand. So something triggered me into into researching this as opposed to like paying attention to what was being said. But like the tormenting hell that we think hell is, those gates are not open. That is for post judgment, like the end of times. Jesus goes down to hell, and he's been delegated judgment authority on souls. So he goes down and says, "Yup, you shall live eternity burning." And I think that's different than the lake of fire. No, maybe the lake of fire is the end state, but everybody that's in hell right now, like the broad hell, is just waiting that final judgment until they, maybe it's a lake of fire. Just kind of bear with me until Jesus says, "Yep, you're really done for. So you shall spend eternity in the lake of fire."
We're already there, bro. We're already there.
Well, Vegas does hit 119, 120 in the summer, so it's pretty close. And we're running out of water. I don't know if you knew that. Lake Mead is
Oh
running kind
wow.
of low. Yeah.
So then we can
Wow.
say that like the heavens at the beginning, Tim, when you were mentioning, and then did you ask too, like if we believe that there is, like space and all that stuff? So I guess is the heaven describe the vastness of the skies, space, God's dwelling place, and all that stuff? You're muted.
Taking good job. Taking astronomy and geology, it really opened my eyes to a lot of things, whether it's true or not. Because whenever you think about our sun, you have our sun, which is a star, and the stars that we see in the skies are other suns. And what's revolving around the sun is planets, aka our solar system. So seeing that there's billions and billions of stars out there, there's billions and billions of other solar systems. And Earth is in what's called a quote unquote habitable zone. And then you have other
Mhm.
suns with other planets in what's called habitable zones. To me, that's what I don't see how humans could just create this big image above us, or what, maybe I don't know what created this image. Let's Y'all people are lying about the space, in my opinion. So it's like, how do y'all, like,
I think the
I don't
government,
get it.
because
Like, how?
I didn't say that space. I didn't say space isn't real. I don't believe we've ever been to the moon. I don't believe
Same.
that is real.
Okay.
yeah,
But y'all,
I think the
were
moon.
y'all
Yeah,
doubting Jupiter and Mars and stuff like that too, though?
no, I think there's a lot of that exists. I think what is impossible for them to get there is because we are under a dome and they have not been able to crack the dome or get out of it. That's why they continuously send all these like freaking, like Elon keeps going up there and then
And y'all,
things
these
explode and they come
ladies,
back down.
the ladies that called themselves astronauts, I was like, Katy
Oh
Perry,
yeah.
please, full stop. You are not an astronaut.
Neil
You had like
deGrasse
I
would
5
have
think
minutes
a
of
say with
training.
that.
You were probably in some simulation. Like, I didn't even believe it. That, what was it, Blue Origin or something? And they're like, oh my God, we're astronauts. They're kissing the ground. I'm like,
I
please
think
stop. Make it stop.
if we really, really pay attention to that, I think that we also saw it as something that's, funny, comical, didn't
It was
happen.
stupid.
But then if you look at it from a serious point of view, I think that is the first time that they actually probably opened the eyes to people to say, you know what, we can't get past the dome.
Yeah,
It's like we can
probably,
only go
yeah.
as far as
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
this high,
interrupt
and
you.
that's it.
I was going to say yes. And when they opened the door, it was open from the inside. Watch the video. They push it open and then they push it shut again really quick. Like,
Hmm.
you're not
Right.
supposed to be able to do that.
And
And
then
then he pulls it and you're like, wait, hold up. Like, that was so, it was just not true. I don't think
Yeah.
it's
I
true.
think they exposed it all. So I have a question too, because I was reading something and I was watching TikTok, right? The rabbit hole of TikTok. That's where I get a lot of my education when it comes to conspiracy theory. I'm kidding. I do research too. But, there was somebody that was giving an example. You know how the dome is like this, right? And they're saying that when planes are flying a certain um, area, that they fly at a higher altitude. And then all of a sudden, when they're getting closer to like this part of the dome, it goes to a lower altitude. Has anybody confirmed that?
I never heard of that one.
And then also, I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, you guys can either plead the fifth or just give me a look. But I was doing research too because I am fascinated with aliens and all this stuff, right? Do they exist? Do they not? Blah, blah, blah. But, it's just that's the conspiracy theorist at heart. So I was doing research on Area 51. So, in my research of Area 51, the myth is that it is the main base. And then I came to find out in regards to Edwards Air Force Base, the Black Project Division.
You
So,
guys are funny. I'm watching your faces.
I never
I
heard
thought
any
you
of
were
that stuff. I don't know
something
anything
No,
about
about
that.
yeah, we're not.
That's
Yeah.
what they would
section.
say for you to tell us. That's what I'm saying.
I've never heard of that.
you've never heard of that?
No,
So, it's
no.
like in doing more research, the reality is that Area 51 or Edwards is the headquarters, and then
Oh,
Area 51
oh.
is like the test. So Edwards is like the prototypes, the store that stores, analyzes, coordinates. Should I not talk about this?
And
I've heard
hard
of
to combine
like
together where all the
I,
information is
I'm
being
trying to
hidden.
I'm trying to figure out like what's like I mean it's open source that Skunkworks is the RT&D arm of, I don't know, I don't know if it's Boeing, Raytheon, or whether it's a conglomerate of multiple doing stuff out of Edwards. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard that as well. So
Yeah, where you hear that that's where like technology jumps decades with no explanation.
Have you?
That quietly it's one of the deepest black budget ecosystem of US soil.
I mean,
Dark is pretty up there.
so if you look north to where I'm at, there's NITR, Nevada Test and Training Range. It's the largest restricted airspace in the world, meaning that the military owns everything up to I think it's like 60,000 feet or 80,000 feet. So and that's so they can test aircraft out there. Whatever you think they're testing is whatever you think they're testing, whatever that means to you. Okay. um, but it's a safe place where you're not gonna an airliner's not gonna run into military aircraft because they don't have their ADS-B transponder on. So
So
ADS-B,
is that like where range 0 is? Or is that in a different area?
I've actually never heard of Range Zero, and that's truthful. I've never heard of that. But NITR is massive, and within NITR are some of the places that you may have mentioned previously. So
Have you been to Area 51?
I have not. No.
Nick's like, don't ask me. Don't even look at me.
No, I've seen it. I've never. I know guys who have been there though. Yeah,
You do. Do they
yeah,
talk about it or not so much?
yeah. Not. I mean, they said what they could say, but yeah, it's like from what I know, it's where you test stuff and they have stuff there. I don't know. Yeah.
Depending on what you do, depending on which programs you're associated with, you sign non-disclosures that outlive you. So they're lifetime non-disclosures. And the reality is it's never as sexy as people make it out to be. But the
And I
difference is
almost, yeah, from what
the
I've
diff,
learned of what it is, it's not what I thought it was when I was a kid. Like, there's no, like, I didn't, like, alien stuff. No, I don't.
yeah. So
So do
here's the
y'all
problem: is
believe
like
in
all this stuff is blown up to be this big, right? The reality is it's only about this big. But if I told you, let's say I knew, and I signed a non-disclosure, and I told you I'd violate that non-disclosure, and then I would be stuck in probably some black offsite, you know what I mean, and prosecuted and stuff like that. But the reality is it's hard because people run around with these crazy ideas, and there's a desire to say that's not what happens, but I guess there's safety in people thinking that, right? Then the programs are working because nobody knows. So, and it's not my place to go ahead and set the record straight for anything. But usually
I
truth,
just know what the guys told
so
me,
the
and
truth
I
is a
was,
little bit more reasonable, a lot more reasonable than what people are running around saying.
uh-huh.
so
And
I
it's
got a
not
question.
like even that badass. It's like, it was like, oh, there's no UFOs there, and But what they told me that was there was not even. Oh, it's just stuff. Yeah,
What's up,
yeah.
Tim?
So just a raise of hands. All right, let's hypothetically say aliens do exist. Do you know aliens
They do.
exist or don't exist?
I believe they do.
Leslie, yeah or nay?
I do. Oh, absolutely. I think,
And I got a
yeah, I
reason
do.
for
I was
asking
gonna give.
too.
I
Tammy, what
say
about you?
yes. I say yes because I think it's silly to think that we are the only beings that there are. So
And
yes.
Adam, you? Yeah or nay?
If I was voting and I had to pick one, where am I leaning? So if that's 49 versus 51, where's my 51 at? I
Mm-hmm.
would say my 51 is there are probably aliens. But that's not like 100% there's aliens. That's like I think it's more likely than not. Does that make sense? So I'm at
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason why I
51%.
asked, no, that's a good answer too, because obviously no one is 100%. So the reason why I'm asking is, okay, does God in the Bible, have y'all read anything that talks about extraterrestrials or things outside of animals and humans?
Yeah, angels,
Nephilim.
So do
Nephilim.
y'all
Yeah.
think that's what aliens
Anunnaki.
are? Is angels? Like what
Hmm.
is aliens to y'all in reference to
Could be demons.
religion or the Bible?
Yeah, it could be demons
Demons.
or whatever. Fallen, interdimensional beings. That's what I think. I don't really think like they live on Mars or anything. And if
It's
we,
like a foreigner or a stranger.
oh, that too.
Yeah. An expired N1 visa, right?
And they stay at S4.
Yeah, they're a stranger to the earth. The fallen angels were strangers to the earth, right? Why are you laughing?
No, I don't know if I got Nick's. I don't know if I got Adam's joke or not. I don't know. He said something about some visa, and it just made me laugh. That's all. I don't know if
Expired
I got
visa. Yeah. Trump said they can't stay.
it.
They gotta go. They gotta go.
Oh, really quick, my last question, and I got to wrap it up too. My last question
Mhm.
for Nick and Adam, and y'all don't have to answer this. You can answer how you please. It's military wise of the United States decision making internationally plays a role in the immigration problem that we have, or the situation that we have.
Say that one more time.
Yeah.
What percent of our immigration is because of our international business relations or our international dealings or meddlings with other countries? What percentage of that do you think affects immigration situation? If it's zero, it's zero. If it's 10, it's 10. I just need a number.
I think yeah, I'll jump in first, Nick, and then maybe you
Hmm.
can do cleanup detail. So this is what I think, and this is growing up in California in the Central Valley and understanding the necessity of the migrant worker. So define migrant worker. Think migrant geese, like migrant birds that move with the seasons. That's what a migration is, right? They go in and they go out. So migrant worker was never meant to be settled with 20 years in the United States. It was supposed to be you come in seasonally. We have a requirement. The Central Valley has a requirement for the migrant worker to do field work. I'm just telling you, Americans are too damn lazy to get their ass out there in 105-degree weather, wearing a flannel shirt in a straw hat and out there and picking weeds and picking produce. They just don't do it. So my grandparents used to work the fields. My wife is Caucasian and her grandparents worked the fields. So this is not a race thing. It's literally just an economic thing. If you're poor, you do what you can to survive. So, I was lucky where, my grandparents made other decisions. My parents made other decisions, and that wasn't the life that I had to grow up. And I'm very thankful for that. But we, as an economy, have a requirement for the migrant worker to do the work that Americans won't do. They just won't do it. Those Mexicans are not taking jobs from Americans. They're not. Okay. So, but the problem is it, the immigration was never enforced, meaning these people settled here and they said to themselves, well, shit, I go back and forth, you know, that's just, it's disruptive. I want to be with my family. America doesn't care if I settle my family here. So they settled. And I went to high school with illegal aliens. Okay. And they were, you know, in my class, and it wasn't a problem. You know, you just realize that some people had papers and some people didn't have papers. I think that there is a problem in a completely different space, because I have opinions about this stuff. When you don't enforce the laws that are on the books, and then people settle their lives here, and then that person is not 16 anymore, that person is 18, and now you want to go ahead and kick them out of the country, and it's like they're more American than you, or at least as American as you are. You know what I mean? They moved here when they were one, or you know, or something absurd like that. We have a requirement for the migrant worker. That's a benefit to the United States. Now we could talk the other, I don't, 1%, 5%, or 10% that come here and commit crimes and cause problems and leech on the system. Okay. But from my own experiences, that's not what I saw. And I'm dated too, so I'm in my 40s. So I'll just say that the idea of placating to other countries and allowing an immigration policy that we have, I don't think that we say we're going to take a bunch of Eritreans because we want to improve relations with Eritrea, which is a country in Africa, right? I don't think that we do that. I think that we have compassion and we say, hey, if you want to provide, you know, claim refugee status, we're going to go ahead and take you in. And then I think we have an economic necessity specifically for Mexicans and people from South America to come up and do this low level work for cheap wages. So that's my perspective, because I think your question was, is our immigration policy based upon placating to other countries, right? I don't think so. I think
Placating and business decisions, like for instance, with other countries with minerals and things that we need in order to keep our dominant in the world. I'm wondering what part of those decisions play a role in the immigration to our quote unquote developed country that we call the United States.
My opinion might change if I sat on this for a week and really thought about it, but I don't think at all. There are other things that we could, there are other things that we could do that would be much more financially beneficial. You want to talk about China and China's plan and what China does and how they're trying to gain this global dominance by eating up all ports, seaports, buying them, and then going into African nations and saying, hey, we'll provide infrastructure, we'll provide your electricity, your running water, your sewage. And then, but we want mineral rights. You know, we want the ability to go ahead and mine this shit. And then those countries say, yeah, I mean, we don't have running water, so it's probably a good deal for us. And then those countries default on the loans. And then now China owns those mineral rights indefinitely, right? So there's shit that China.
Do that?
What's that?
Are you saying we don't do that or never done that?
No, never. I don't know about never, but I'll tell you what, like the way the US is pretty compassionate, man. What I've seen, what separates us, our military from others is like, you see a hard up kid, a starving kid, you bust open your MRE and you give him a chocolate bar. Yeah, you give him shit, right? Other militaries are not as compassionate. Like World War II, you would see on TV where the Germans would come across and just smack the shit and beat the hell out of people and stuff like that. Dude, the American soldier is very compassionate, and I think that if we lose, it's because we always play by the rules, and other countries do not. And I'll tell you, like the worst offenders of not playing by the rules is fucking China, and I mean like a lot. You'll have Chinese kids in your class and you're like, how the fuck do you not speak English and you're in an American university? And then they say, well, because they have to take a test, an English test in order to get in. And they say, well, I cheated. Well, how do you cheat? Cheating is just part of a way of life. Everybody cheats there. And that's why Chinese tech sucks. It's a knockoff of Japanese tech, Korean tech, and American tech. Like they copycat shit and then they just make it a little cheaper. So completely different space. I'd love to have this conversation, but I'm gonna say that we are in the greatest country in in all 271, 272 countries that exist. We were fortunate enough to be born here, and people want to take us out. People want to claim that position. People want to be number one. They have a long way to go, but just remember, these other countries are cheating in order to get in that spot. They're cheating. They're not playing by the rules.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree that we're in a great for opportunity and et cetera, to be born in geographically wise. I do feel like we're in a great location. The way I see our politics is two different ways. One, because like I said earlier, my dad is Marine, his brother's Marine, my mom's two brothers is Army and Navy vets, and I see
we like those better. We like those guys better. We don't get along with Marines, right, Nick?
Oh my, dude, they're basically Army Rangers, bro. You know?
They're like, Marines are like CrossFitters. They got to tell you they're in CrossFit. Hey, bro, you know I do CrossFit, right? Marines are like that. They got to fucking tell you, hey, bro, I'm a Marine and shit. And you're like, oh Lord, this guy again.
And then they tell you how they're pretty much just like Rangers, and I'm like, bro, it's night and day.
Yeah.
That is funny. I gotta tell my dad that, by the way. He'll probably laugh at that too. I see it two ways. One, geographically speaking, I can understand why we are in parts of the world with allies with certain people. I can understand that. And there's the other portion of it where I'm like, damn, I just wish more America first, and all of our resources can go to building the education and the citizen in general. But it's not enough money, quote unquote. So from a military standpoint, I can understand why we do certain things, but on the other end of it, being America first type of person, I don't understand it on that side. So I'm like split in the middle, where I'm like, it's just constantly like.
When it comes to immigrants, bro, I'm like, hey, let's keep my Latino women here, man. Like, I gotta have my Latinos, man.
I gotta be honest, with the whole immigration thing and what's happened over the last few years, my biggest fear was the terrorists that came over, like the non-vetting of the people, because when you would watch people filming and you would see the lines of people and you're like, that's not what I feel like what was just discussed. I'm thinking,
like, how are y'all getting in here like that?
How
is there a line?
Well, yeah, it boggled my mind a bit, and I'm like, I don't know. My mind goes to things that are going on in Michigan right now, Dearborn, Michigan, different things that I look at, and I'm like, like it's.
And I travel a lot, so understand checking into. I've never understood. I ain't gonna say I've never understood. I understand trying to escape certain things,
of course,
claiming asylum and stuff. But I've traveled so much that I never really overstaying your visa. Like, to me, that's disrespectful. Because I go into these other places, I adjust to the culture and I assimilate. So for the individuals that come here and don't have that asylum seeking reason, I just feel like they're abusing the system that is up for, obviously, until this quote unquote administration handled it, or however you want to describe that.
So Tim, I lived in Germany for 3 years, so it was a great experience. And something that they beat home for us was that you're a guest and you're an ambassador. So every stupid ass shit you do is just going to give America a bad name. And I would, I took my family and, took the kids and just said, hey, just be on your best behavior, because people are going to look at you. We'll be in France, or we'll be in Spain or the Netherlands or whatever. And people know your accent, They know you're American. They're not going to confuse you with being Brit or confuse you with being Aussie. They know you're American. and you have to go ahead and represent America well, because you are an ambassador. So I told my kids the same thing. But I'll tell you, like, it is frustrating where people that are visiting this country don't see things the same way. Hey, if you're like, we have a massive issue with fucking Chinese on student visas and research visas, collecting information, proprietary information, and taking it back to China. And literally like moles working in our higher education, like as researchers, as students. And what happens? Like, oh, we find out about it and we like expel them and just shame them. I have so there's a term called command sponsorship. Let's say my daughter was so unruly, she was getting arrested by the polls eye. She was an asshole in school, was getting expelled and stuff like that. Then her command sponsorship could be revoked. They say the U.S. military says, okay, we don't endorse you here. It's like a revocation of her visa, if you will, right? And they say, get your ass back to the States because this is seen as a privilege. So the idea of command sponsorship, me and my wife are talking about this, and it's like, why don't we have the same thing with immigration? Why is it that immigrants aren't considered command sponsored and then there's a return to sender, like bad behavior? Meaning, if a family comes over and they're applying for citizenship, but the kid is running drugs, he gets arrested, he's all in all his gang shit, then his command sponsorship or his visa, if you will, is revoked. Later, buddy. And then that dad would whoop that ass and say, you're putting the fucking family at risk doing this shit. And then they would have better control over the stuff that their kids are doing. I mean, I think that's where we need to get to is you're a guest in this country. Treat yourself like a guest. I don't go into my next door neighbor's house walking with dog shit on my shoes, fucking walk on their carpet, take shit out of their fridge, and then leave. And then when I'm done, I leave the milk out on the counter so it goes bad. Like, you're a bad guest. If they're a guest in this country, then they need to act like a guest and be respectful. Or see ya, time to go. And that should permeate across the family.
And we can't go to another country and do the same things that are allowed here. So I don't know. I don't.
Tammy,
yeah,
it's funny.
because like even whenever I wanted, like, I want to open up businesses in some of these countries too, that small businesses, but I can't just open them. I have to go through the proper channels. I have to go through the proper documents because I would be taking away jobs and opportunities and doing something illegal, and I'm skipping the line versus somebody that was homegrown there and has to go through it, the loan process, etc., just to be in the same position I am, but I'm doing it illegally. So I don't understand how people can come here and do it the legal way. I understand it. I don't like it. Does it bother me? Not so much, but I understand it. I don't like it either, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm in the middle with that too.
What's interesting is people talk about their rights here in the States and they argue with cops, and I see all these footage of like, hey, license registration, I'm not required, Supreme Court stated this. You mouth off to the polls eye, they'll pull out their baton and beat the shit out of you. So they don't carry guns, but they'll tell you, and they tell you when you get there, don't fuck around with the polls eye. Don't start spouting this my rights bullshit. They will whoop your ass, and they will. So I don't know why we can't have the same mentality of like, hey man, just treat the police with respect, let them do their thing. If there's body cams, if they're acting unruly, like, file a grievance later. I tell my kids, my daughter's driving, I said, you don't fuck around. You comply with whatever. And if they did something wrong, we'll file a grievance. You start pulling this shit, and then your ass gets shot, or you get body slammed to the fucking concrete. I was like, just comply, be respectful, and then at the end of the day, we'll make sure things work out. But people are we have people filming outside of Nellis and every major Air Force base, and I think it's absurd, right? And I asked about it. I was like, what's going on? Why are these people like writing down flight times, capturing footage, doing all this stuff? Because the flight line's like a half mile away. Like, you can see the jets take off. And they said, well, it's the right. It's public. They're taxpayers. In theory, it's taxpayers, and they're allowed to do that. And then I think, like, well, who's fucking carding these people? Like, what about the Chinese guy? What about the Russian dude that's doing the same shit, right? Because there's no police that are going to say, hey, you're allowed to film if you're a citizen, so let's start seeing some driver's licenses. We don't do that. So, I mean, I understand civil liberties. I was a criminology major in school. Like, I understand the law better than most people, as long as you're not an attorney, right? But I think that we go too far sometimes in allowing people just to do whatever the fuck they want to do. But anyways.
Yeah, in regards to the police situation, I always stand by the principle do understand the rights, so I know all of them. I understand respect, and I understand that they can't argue with the wall if you don't say nothing. All you have to do is show them your license and say nothing. We have been beat with the knowledge of you have the right to remain silent. So for a lot of people who get in trouble with the police, they just don't know how to shut up. Like that's my whole purpose. My whole thing is like people don't know when to just be quiet. Like you don't have to argue with the police officers.
Yeah, it'd be a tough job for sure. I wouldn't want it. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't have the temperament for that. And corrections, I was like, no, man, I can't do it. I want to slap.
But it is American to be rebellious, though. It is,
and I think we've created
be rebellious.
a very soft America with some things, and it's like,
you know what the Brits call the 4th of July? Soft. They call it the American insurrection. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, it was an insurrection, and you're like, oh, perspective is everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alrighty, lady and gentlemen, we've been here for 2 hours and a half. It went by very fast, and we didn't even get to talk about Barron being a time traveler.
Barron Trump.
Dang it! Yes,
and
I want
Barron
to
Trump.
Into that.
Is that
Barron Trump? Yeah, he's a time traveler.
It's pretty crazy, man. It's
guys,
crazy.
Do you have time? I can go over it very quickly. I know we've been here for a while. I don't know if your butt's hurt from sitting on the chair for 2 hours.
Leslie, I'm afraid there's not going to be enough time to devote to something because it's like the best one of the list.
Yeah, that needs to be just talked about for a whole episode, I believe.
I mean, the first time I was like, "There's no way." Here, I'll give you the cliff notes, Tim. Nick, I don't know if you've heard it. Sounds like Tammy knows. There is a book written 130 years ago that talks about Donald, the mentor, Barron Trump, the time traveler, with a residence off Fifth Avenue in New York. It just goes on, and you're like, no, there's no way, right?
Yeah, save that for. Yeah, that's the next. I like that.
It's wild. Yeah, you're like, that's pretty interesting.
100 years ago, like it's not.
I think that. Yes, I think that one we can do. If you guys want to come back and do another conspiracy, we can definitely save that one because there is so much information on that one. I think it probably will consume a whole hour because, like Adam said, it's 3 novels.
I was gonna say,
and they were written. Yep, and they were written in the 1800s.
Let's do that, and also tap into the Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla.
Well, that was good
energy.
too.
Yes,
wireless energy. He was fascinated with
because and the conspiracy, when I was doing research, it does tap into it, so it all ties into the Nikola. Yes, it ties into the Nikola Tesla.
Ties to the Trump family as well.
Yep.
Nikola.
So it all, yeah.
Tim, put that in perspective. Nikola Tesla ties into the Trump family. That ties into this book. That ties into time travel. It's all connected.
The man that had access when he passed was a Trump.
I wonder if they knew about this whole Jefferson thing, but that's another conversation too.
Oh my gosh, I saw something on TikTok really fast about that. This guy was equating Epstein and Bitcoin, and I'm like, hold up. Like, I have not heard that. Must be some new conspiracy. I'm like, oh Lord have mercy, I don't even want to hear it. Like, I couldn't even process it. I did bookmark it though. I have to go back and watch it. Just
so you guys know, if I wind up dead, I did not commit suicide. Okay.
I didn't either.
I will not commit.
Clinton, you're good.
Adam, can we also leave them?
You're fine.
Can we leave them with the cliff note and the nugget that they also talk about the last president, which is Trump?
Donnie.
Yes!
Donnie's supposed.
That's what I'm saying. He might be the Antichrist. Like, if
he's not. I think we think about
if he's the last president.
Perspective. No.
Well, Leslie, I'm going to throw a curveball to you. I'm going to throw a curveball. What if Don Jr. runs? Just saying.
How about JD Vance?
Just saying.
I think.
Well, they're saying Don. They're saying Don is supposed to be the last president. Don is the last president.
And it ties to
that is an interesting point.
Yep. And then these books and all of that, when the more you do research, it also ties into like the underground, secret rooms and stuff like that supposedly don't exist. Like Denver Airport and all this.
Why wouldn't they? If in Colorado about that too, but why wouldn't underground cities or underground bunkers or things of that nature, it wouldn't exist whenever we have
So why do
nuclear
you think that
warheads.
Baron, we've seen Baron, right? But he's kind of a mystery at the same token, he's kind of hidden, a lot of the times. And, time travelers,
And
they're kind of
He's a
hidden
the
vampire.
in a
book was
way.
called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
Huh.
FYI.
He
Leslie, we need to get in at some point in time. We need to get into the other conspiracy theory about the creation of Bitcoin started from a video game
Oh
in
my
1991.
God. Nick, you don't know that conspiracy,
No,
right?
not
Oh
at
my
all.
gosh.
The fuck?
I
Send
don't
it
know
to
Wait,
me.
about
and
that
then
one. We need to do that one next, or one of the times.
I think that one we can do it next show. We'll do the Baron and then we'll jump into the conspiracy of the Bitcoin, because I love to talk about that conspiracy because I always say that Bitcoin was a Trojan horse. And then doing research, we did research of the Titanic and how JP Morgan, he funded the Titanic and
Shady.
how
He
yep,
wasn't on
and
the ship.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that's
he
and
true.
then
last minute
the,
took all of his belongings
yeah,
and all his
Exactly.
valuables off, and he was sick.
They
and
got
the
into
three
it
richest
second.
men died.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the wealthiest men at that point. But in doing research, I was telling Tammy that I also found where in the late 1900s, the Fed was studying already, or they had a white paper where they were already studying about these, but they were not calling it CBDCs. They were calling it something different. And then during the dot-com crash, apparently they freaking uh, did away with it or whatnot, and now 25 years later they're bringing all that back. That ties into Project Agora that I had also researched. Adam, I don't know if you know about that one, and where it's like, the banking cartel, JP Morgan, and all of them are part of that, where it's like, creation to become like one world digital order, and
do
it
you
all
ever
ties
get
to
I
into
think it's
Bitcoin.
There is
do
a
you ever
banking
get into
cartel. I'll say that.
like Build-A-Bear, Illuminati? What's the hippie one in California in like Sacramento?
Scientology.
Oh, no,
No,
that that's
Grove,
the with the
but
owl,
but
in
the
but
big
but, but
owl,
Philadelphia.
Bohemian Grove,
Bohemian Grove,
Bohemian
Bohemian
Grove.
Grove.
Bohemian
Yeah,
Yep.
Grove.
No.
Yes.
yep. Those
Uh-huh.
are so that shit's pretty wild. The Build-A-Bear group, that's in Europe somewhere. But yeah, those are Skull and Crossbones. But yeah, those are neat ones too.
Yo, Leslie, can I ask Nick and Adam something really quick?
Yep.
Seeing that the border of the United States is only 50 to 60 miles away from Russia, Alaska, does Russia have nuclear warheads on the coast or in somewhere in that area to where it could reach us at a very high missiles in general at a high speed?
Oh, just so you know, there are nuclear weapons that have been able to touch the
In
United States
15
for a
minutes.
long time.
Within
15
15 minutes.
minutes.
Have y'all seen that movie on
Lightning.
Netflix?
Nope.
Oh, when I get the movie, there's a movie about that and how they're counting down. A nuclear warhead got sent from somewhere. They didn't know where the original location got sent from. So America and the president had to make a quick decision. It went through the chain of commands, uh, blase. And the reason why they couldn't figure out who sent the nuclear warhead is because it went radar. And then when you listen, you're realizing somebody got paid off to turn off the radar system in that area, so it slipped through the detection area. And America and the president has like 15 minutes to decide what to do. So they sent one missile to, I guess, blow it up or whatnot, and it didn't work. And I think it was like 3 levels, like red, green, or green, red, and green, yellow, and red. Is this
DEFCON.
familiar?
DEFCON.
Yeah, so DEF CON, that's exactly what you said, DEF CON?
Somebody
Yeah.
said A House of Dynamite on Netflix. That's somebody in the
A
chat.
House of Dynamite.
House of Dynamite. Thank you.
Devlin.
Thank you, Devlin. I seen your comments earlier.
Yes, thank
I would highly recommend y'all watching it.
I'm gonna check it
That is
out.
a
Yeah.
very interesting movie.
So that's why there was a mutually assured destruction policy for nuclear warfare. The deal is hey, Russia, if you launch on us, we're going to launch on you. So if you think you're going to go ahead and take us out, like you're taking both of us out. That was the agreement. And everybody built their nuclear arsenal to do the same thing. Just say like, hey, just you launching on us is your own destruction. Just know that. And then they have that agreement. And then they thought to themselves, well, we could fuck this up pretty easy, right? So let's have lines of communication kind of like there's like a bat phone that you could pick up and the Americans can literally talk. Actually, I think it's Trump's office. So you can call Russia and that type of stuff to say there's been a mistake or whatever it is, to prevent that,
And that was
destruction.
And really quick, Adam, that was the movie too. And the thing was,
That's
they
real.
didn't know America didn't know who sent the warhead. So now the president is in this thinking moment where he's everything to China, to Russia.
Well, don't give
the
the
other
movie
countries
away.
that-
Don't spoil the movie.
I
You're
know.
like, wait.
Oh yeah, my
He's like,
bad.
the
You're
worst
right.
part
You're
is the
right.
way it ends.
Oh my God, I
Tim,
haven't
I mean,
seen it,
here you
Tim.
go. Tim, if you want to know, I mean, look at Trump told Pete Hegseth, go ahead and make me a golden dome. So Israel has the Iron Dome, and they have a reason for it, right? They get all the Hamas rockets, Hezbollah, all the rockets coming in, right? So they have what's called the Iron Dome. It's this multi-layer protection. So Trump goes, hey, what the hell are we doing to protect the homeland? Hey, Pete, make us a golden dome, iron, gold, make us a golden dome to protect the United
I'm
States.
sick of him, but it's needed.
That's actually in South Bend, y'all. The Golden Dome is there, just so you know. Notre Dame, you're welcome. Marcus Freeman.
I'm not the type to. I'm not the type to like. If you do something out, if you do something right, I'm gonna call it out. With Trump, I'm on that. I'm in the middle with him. When he does something right, I would say does something
Are
wrong.
they time
I'll call it out
travelers,
too.
Tim?
They are.
I'm telling you, the books say so. Just saying.
And you know how the book also says that Don was his mentor. So is it the brother that was his mentor, or is it the dad? So
I mean, nobody's throwing out the brother, right? People only talk about Don Senior, but could be Don
yeah,
Junior.
but like the coincidence
Wow.
are uncanny. It's like where they live, Don, the president. It's just wild. And you know how the last book, what was it, the 1900, the last president, talks about like the chaos, how they want to throw the president out, everything that correlates with what is currently happening right now.
I just wish we could find some political middle ground and calm shit down. We're better than this. We're better than all the crazy shit that's happening on both sides. At both sides. So
I
Yeah.
travel to South America right now because I feel like I'm a target. Like I want to go there. I've been trying to go there for the longest. I'm getting veneers, and I like their down there. But
Oh my God.
with everything Venezuela area, I'm not comfortable. I feel like I'm gonna be a hostage and turn into a slave or something. I don't know. I don't want it. I don't want to get down there and they be like, "Yeah, we got him. We got one of them."
We don't
what
want that
happened
to
to
happen
Adam?
to you, Tim. We would be sad. We'd come get you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I need to send everybody.
We would come.
Everybody.
Hey, we've got a good guy right here.
Send the
think he can
Rangers
help us.
first.
The
Send Nick and the
can get it
Rangers
done.
first.
The Rangers
Send
can
Nick
get it
and-
done.
You know
are
what,
the
Tim?
elite.
We should make a trip when you're back in the States or whatnot. We need to go to Texas and then go to Nick's shooting range. Maybe we should all go
I want to come.
because I've never shot a gun or a rifle or
Girl.
anything. And
What?
maybe and that's where
pew pews. The pew pews, girl.
pew
Yes.
pew
You lived in Texas and
You need a
Arizona
pew-pew.
and never shot a gun, Leslie?
I was kind of
I'm
not
baffled.
allowed.
I'm appalled.
Oh, you. Yeah, we are.
I wanted to go
We
to
are a
you know
gun-toting
what?
state.
No, I've shot a BB gun.
Timmy
I've gone
said
to the BB
We
like
are.
pellets and stuff like that. I've done that and I was good at it, in my opinion.
I
But
love
yeah,
Really good.
Yeah.
I think
I love
once you have
going to the
respect for him.
range. Oh
Mhm.
yes, yeah, most definitely.
I was terrified of him, and then my husband took me, and I will say though, there was a guy next to us at the range we were at, and he shot some sort of high-powered.
Hey, one sec. I have a phone call I have to take, guys.
Okay.
If that's
Okay.
okay.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine. We're gonna
My
wrap
bad.
up too. You're good.
No, you're good.
It's
I'll put
funny,
him
really
on
quick.
mute.
Perfect.
Growing up, I lived next to an arsenal where they would make like something gas related weapon. They would test on animals there too as well too in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we have tornado drills there because tornadoes hit. We have fire
Get 'em here
drills in
too.
school. So in school we have tornado drills, fire drills, and we have what's called CSEP drills, which is chemical spill emergency protocol. Would show us different routes in case something chemically spilled, and we would have to make sure that we knew these routes in case we have to bus out and go the different directions because it would be in a certain way. Have you ever heard of CSEP drills before? I don't know.
I haven't.
You never heard? Interesting.
No, I haven't.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
I
Wow.
haven't.
Yeah, it was late earlier in my childhood, like in elementary school. They didn't keep doing it in junior high and high school, but definitely elementary school, we drills.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hey, I just want to invite you guys. If you guys ever show up to Vegas, hit me up, man. I'll show you the town. So, I know Leslie wants to get some burritos tonight, and we're preventing her from getting her burrito.
Burritos. No, it's already too late to eat. But Keith also invited me to Vegas to do some boxing too. He said that he trained Gina or did some with Gina. And I was like, you know what? I can come up there too. And Gina and and then I told Gina, and she's like, yeah, we can go do a photo shoot. Training. We're gonna go for training, but I think we should. We should like go to the shooting range, go to Vegas, and test
I'm
our
down.
luck.
We need to
Tim,
take some
and then
classes first.
classes of what?
We need some safety classes.
Nick's got you
on
covered.
how to handle
I'm
a
just
fire.
gonna no. I'm just gonna go there and
You
start
know-
shooting. Like grab the gun, and I got some training from movies and Call of Duty. I'm ready.
When
Let her
Dave
know,
took
Nick.
me, dude,
Let her know.
there was a
That's
guy
my
next
safety.
to us.
Not, yeah. We're not, yeah. We'll take that approach.
That's my safety.
At the range, though,
Were
they
you
were
say,
able to shoot a
Leslie?
high-powered. They were actually able to shoot I don't know if that dude had an AR next to me or what he had, but he shot that thing off. I about jumped out of my skin. I'm not even playing. I was not prepared. And then he looked at me and he goes, "Do you want to shoot it?" And I went, "No, I'm good with my little one right here. I'm learning." But when that went
The
off
little
next
one.
to me, I thought, "Oh my gosh, it scared the shit out of me." I had no idea. I'm like, "Wow, I didn't think he could have that something that loud." It startled me, and I was like, "I'm glad I wasn't shooting at the time." I mean, because you do need to learn those things. You do need to learn gun safety and all that. And he's like, "Hey, you want to shoot it?" And I'm like,
Exactly.
"No, I'm good. I'm good."
Can I start with a
Leslie,
sniper
no.
or like a big one?
No.
What? We need to go.
You
Yeah.
need to know how to handle. It's our Second
Well,
Amendment right against
right.
tyranny.
I mean,
Yes.
I've held some before. They were not real, but it's like kind of like I've shot a BB gun before.
That's why you
I
say
got
the
it.
doors are locked for
Easy.
their protection, not
I was like,
ours. That's how that goes.
no, yeah, I did really good. We went to the range, and I actually did pretty good. I was throwing myself on the floor, like I was like in Call of Duty. So, I mean, I did good, in my opinion.
You're too cute.
But yeah, I would love to. Can we start with a sniper rifle, or is that
Sure.
no?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes first.
He's like, back up a little bit, it's like safety first, and then we go
There's
to.
steps this.
I love
I'm
it.
like, we'll skip the step. Guys, thank you so much. I know it typically we were anticipating. I know an hour is not enough, but I was like, okay, you know what? An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops. We are almost at 3 hours. There was a lot of stuff to talk about, but I wanted to do the Trump, so I guess we're gonna have to do rain check, do another one, and dive straight into Trump. And then, if time allows, we will dive into the Bitcoin Buckesoids conspiracy.
I'd love to
Yeah,
hear that
cool.
one.
It was
But
a pleasure
everyone, good
meeting all of
night.
you all for the first time.
right.
Yes.
Same.
It was a pleasure.
You gonna
Same
come
here.
back, Tim?
To face to face.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Very cool.
Yeah,
right.
we have to do it probably next month before Tim leaves.
Where are you leaving, Tim?
Yes.
Well, I work remotely, so I travel. Like, friend just got back from DR. I stay over there like a couple of months. I was in Asia last year for some months because I just like traveling. Cultural relativism is why I travel. Are y'all familiar with
Very cool.
cultural relativism?
No.
It's basically the concept of immersing yourself in other cultures and seeing the importance of certain things that they do and letting yourself know that your culture isn't the central way of doing things, and just to be open-minded because there's
That's
always
cool.
things to learn.
Very cool. Yeah,
I
I
love that.
subscribe to that.
But most definitely, I'll be back. Leslie has these great shows. It was a pleasure out of here, and I will catch y'all later.
See you,
So
Tim.
good to
Take care.
see you,
I
Tim.
appreciate you guys.
See you, Nick.
See you guys.
Thank you,
Tammy.
guys.
Tammy.
Tammy,
Guys.
No,
farewell.
thank you all. It was a
All right,
pleasure.
Leslie.
Thank you all our listeners, everybody. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.